The kick is so strong that Li Huo Wang is covered in blood, his body flying several feet away. He thinks to himself, "What's wrong with this scabby old man?" He turns hostile in an instant. My handwriting may not be beautiful, but it's still clear. Could it be? Then, as if he suddenly understands something, Li Huo Wang is shocked. Wait, since I came here, I've never seen any scriptures or calligraphy in Qingfeng Temple. Knowledge is passed down orally. Could it be that this scabby old man is illiterate? He is illiterate? That thought makes him even more suspicious. If he is illiterate, then who reads the heavenly book he often mentions to him? Just then, Jung-kun comes over, his smile full of ridicule. Unexpected Xuanyang master is even willing to pass down the alchemy formula from the heavenly book to you. Li Huowang, a high school student, is a good young man with parents who love him dearly, has a beautiful and lovable girlfriend, has a house, a car, and everything in his grasp. His life, it must be said, is too perfect. However, he has a fatal flaw. He suffers from a severe mental illness and frequently sees hallucinations. But he can carry items back and forth between the two worlds. But he never expected the heavens to be mad. This world has also gone mad. The cycle of reincarnation is in chaos. Humanity has become neither human nor ghost. The world is now a mix of real and fake. He can no longer distinguish what is real and what is fake. Without keeping you waiting, we will now step into this hot-off-the-press masterpiece, wishing you all an enjoyable viewing time. The story begins in a cold and gloomy cave hidden deep in the mountains, so deep that no light can penetrate. A surreal scene unfolds as Li Huowang raises the pestle in his hand and then angrily slams it down into the mortar. He takes some mud and blue luminescent stone and slowly grinds them into fine powder. Although the cave is damp and cold, the young man wears only a thin piece of cloth. A girl approaches and points at his mortar, which annoys him into shouting, "Can you please not bother me?" But she completely ignores his words and sticks her finger deeper into his mortar. She puts one hand to her mouth, sucks on it, and mumbles, "Eat, eat, candy." The male lead is driven mad by her and crudely shoves her hand away from his mortar. The girl tumbles to the ground, and the surrounding people are drawn by the noise and turn to look. Then he says coldly, "Tisk, this is medicine, not candy." And this young man is the medicine guide of Qingfeng Temple, Li Huowang, also the male lead of this story. After saying that, he thinks to himself, to hell with it. Even if I explain, she won't understand a damn thing. However, the girl doesn't feel any pain, and instead exclaims excitedly, "Haha, that was fun." And in this damn place, he is not the only one here. There are also a few other men and women of the same age. The only difference between them and Li Huowang is that their bodies all have obvious defects. Among them are people with albinism, polio, or other congenital physical deformities. These people have the same job as Li Huowang, which is grinding medicine. This place is really no different from a museum of oddities. The male lead thinks to himself, "Why do I have to be here with them?" However, some people are not focused on their work. While Li Huowang closes his eyes and continues his work, but the increasingly tragic cries of a woman make him angry enough to turn and look. Following his gaze, a large man is pinning a weak girl to the ground, constantly saying, "I'll just try a little, I promise, just a little, hey." As he speaks, the man reveals an extremely perverted expression. The weak girl struggles and screams, "No, please don't." The man's laughter attracts the attention of those around them. They all focus their gazes, waiting for the good show to begin. But what a load of crap! The male lead is so distracted by the laughter that he can't focus on grinding. In Li Huowang's mind, he keeps thinking, "Fake. It's all fake. It's all just a hallucination. It's all just a hallucination." But right after, he grabs the pestle and rushes forward, smashing it straight into the man's face with a powerful blow. Red blood sprays like rain. The man is dazed by the blow and stumbles backward. The male lead is furious. "Fake my ass, even if it's fake, it's not okay." After the blow delivered by the male lead, the man painfully clutches the wound on his face, writhing and groaning incessantly. Immediately, he opens his mouth and shouts, "I'm telling you, you're finished. Do you know who my master is? If the old master finds out, he will kill you." The male lead hears. This grinds his teeth and replies, "What the hell is he? He's nothing at all, not even as good as a lowly person." As soon as these words are spoken, the man stammers in astonishment, You dare to curse my master." At the same time, the entire cave falls into a fearful silence. Everyone here is shocked that this man would dare to say such a thing. Just then someone speaks up. Are you done arguing? Mashidiwoshime masta samonzu. The girl who was just asking the male lead for candy, hearing her name, mentioned grins excitedly. The male lead stands there stunned, saying nothing. The beaten man laughs loudly and says, "Haha, you're done for today is your turn." With some doubt, the male lead still follows and walks in. He hasn't gone far when a hand grabs his shirt, holding him back. It's the girl who was just saved, her eyes filled with tears as she continuously shakes her head, her eyes full of fear. Don't go, don't go." However, the male lead crudely flings his sleeve, pushing her hand away, and strides straight ahead. The two of them follow the guide's footsteps decisively. The saved girl watches the back of her savior, her heart filled with sorrow. Coming out of the preparation room is an even larger limestone cave, with tunnels connecting in all four directions throughout the cave, big and small, like a magnified version of an ant nest. Li Hua Wang thinks to himself, "What's wrong with me? Why do I get angry over things like this? My personality is clearly not like this. I can't let them affect me." That really wasn't me at that moment. While lost in thought, a hand suddenly nudges his arm. Although the male lead is annoyed, he tries to control his emotions. "Calm down, I must be calm." Seeing the male lead ignore her, she nudges his arm even harder. Immediately, Li Hua Wang grabs her hand and shouts furiously, "You, what on earth do you want?" She then opens her hand, revealing something that has melted. With a goofy expression, she asks, "Want some melted sugar?" Li Hua Wang frowns slightly, knowing in his head that the other person is naive, and impatiently takes the melted candy from her hand. Seeing Li Hua Wang take it, she takes another piece of candy from her pocket, puts it in her mouth, and naively exclaims, Hey, master is so nice. Following master means I get candy to eat." After hearing this, the male lead says nothing and continues walking. Suddenly, the male lead's eyes show a bit of surprise. What catches his eye is a large, tall alchemy furnace entirely black and being heated intensely. Sitting cross-legged on the ground is the back of someone grinding medicine. But his mortar is many times larger than Li Hua Wang's and the others. Immediately after, the foolish woman clumsily waves her hands, using her left hand to pinch her left thumb with the four fingertips of her left hand on top. She places her hands on her chest facing the other's back, clasps her hands in a salute, and speaks with eyes full of reverence. "Master, your disciple has arrived." As soon as she opens her mouth, the pestle also stops. A voice from the furnace rings out. "Good disciple, come here, there's candy to eat." The figure turns around, and although he was prepared, Li Hua Wang's pupils still shrink in fear. The Taoist's front and back are completely different. From the back he looks dignified and immortal-like, but from the front that face belongs to an old man with patchy hair loss, with a few uneven yellow and crooked teeth growing in his mouth. He smiles and says, "Good disciple, you made me wait a while." As soon as he finishes speaking, he leaps forward. In a flash, he is right behind the girl. At this moment, a strange scent fills the air. It's not any other scent but the smell of human flesh. The male lead's eyes grow even more horrified, freezing him in place, because right beside him, he grabs her by the neck and throws her straight into the alchemy furnace. The old man stands there laughing gloatingly, his face becoming more terrifying and grotesque by the moment. After a moment, he lifts the heavy stone pestle and slams it down, accompanied by the sound of shattering bones. As he grinds, he shouts, "Ding cho yuanwo shou ding hai hu, wo hunjia jiazi wo shenjia su bao wo xingjia shengu, wo mingjia wu, shu wo hunjia chenjen wo." Ling. Meanwhile, the girl, lying in the middle of the alchemy furnace, feels no pain and exclaims, "Is this a rare candy? Master is so nice." Before she can finish her words, the pestle comes hurtling towards her. It crashes down with a thud, and instantly the girl's internal organs are crushed to a pulp. Her eyes pop out, and pieces of her are scattered everywhere in a horrifying manner. He, however, shouts in excitement, "Begin the furnace for alchemy." At this moment, the man with patchy hair seems to be very expectant. He strokes the few strands of beard on his chin and laughs heartily, his dirty, ugly face revealing an expression of extreme satisfaction. Meanwhile, the male lead stands still, his face emotionless, saying nothing and making no move. Just a second later, Li Hua Wang is so shocked his eyes pop wide open, because what he sees are two other men with identical faces pouring the grotesque, freshly ground mixture into the alchemy furnace. The blood-red liquid flows down into the boiling alchemy furnace. The old man, meanwhile, is immensely enjoying inhaling the stench of human blood with great pleasure. The male lead thinks in confusion, fake the smell is fake, that head is also fake. A cold voice rings out. I heard you called this Taoist a fart. Then he turns his head and asks, is this true? Looking at the man who kills without batting an eye, Li Huowang remains motionless, slowly closing his eyes to listen to his own rapid breathing, silently repeating in his mind, this voice is also fake. Along with it are footsteps getting closer and closer, a mixed smell of fresh blood and a foul stench assaulting his nose like a wall. He shouts, speak up, are you deaf? The male lead stands still, his mind in constant struggle. Fake, fake. It's all fake, Li Huo. Wang clenches his teeth, using all his strength to try and open his eyes. As he tries to open his eyes, the dark cave scene from before disappears, and that disgusting old man also vanishes. After some effort, the male lead finally manages to open his eyes wide. In front of him, a bright and clean room appears. Fresh air fills the room, but the lower half of his body is tied tightly to the bed with cloth straps. The beeping sounds of medical equipment echo as he lies there all alone. A feeling of familiarity mixed with a bit of confusion. Right after a familiar voice says, you're finally back. How do you feel? Anything new in the hallucination this time? Li Huowang replies, still the same space, still the same job as before. Li Huowang thinks for a moment, then hesitantly stammers. It's just that. The doctor curiously presses, just what he continues. Wang Shi Mei, have I told you? This time, the bald master ruthlessly crushed her right in front of me. Then he used her blood and mangled corpse to refine pills. Listening, the doctor focuses on taking notes. The attending doctor nods in agreement on one side while tapping his fingers on the other. Li Huowang hesitates and asks further, Dr. Li, can you tell me what these different hallucinations mean? What do they mean for my mind and spirit? After hearing this, the doctor shakes his head and firmly denies, no, you don't need to worry about those things. What you need to focus on is how long each hallucination lasts and how stable your mental state is. Since you've overcome the hallucinatory perception disorder, you must remember it's just a hallucination. You must remember, clearly everything is fake. You have overcome the cognitive disorder. If you fall into a hallucination again, act according to the logic there. Combined with the therapy here, you will soon be discharged. After saying that, the doctor quickly leaves. Li Huowang frowns slightly and asks, what does that have to do with me being discharged? Just then a girl enters the room with a nagging voice reminding him, humph, did you hear that? Hearing the familiar voice, the male lead looks up towards the door. What catches his eye is his childhood sweetheart. Yang Ne, her skin is as white as jade. Her black hair flows down her shoulders like a waterfall. She is as beautiful as a newly bloomed flower. The girl adds, you must obediently listen to the doctor. Li Huowang immediately feels a sweetness in his heart. His worries about his illness quickly dissipate as he softly calls Nana. The girl comes inside and slowly sits down. Then she looks up at Li Huowang with bright, sparkling eyes as beautiful as an angel's. Li Huowang smiles happily, and it must be said his smiling face looks a bit strange. Hey, Yang Na is startled and exclaims, your smile is so ugly. Don't smile anymore. Look what I brought for you. As she speaks, she opens her handbag to look for something. The girl takes out a thick book and cheerfully continues, ta-da, this is the review material personally compiled by the teachers. Looking at the book, the male lead sighs wearily and says, Nana, we've been friends since we were little after all. Is this how you get revenge on me? Yang Na immediately taps the book lightly on his head and replies, humph, of course not. Oh, and this too. She takes out a handheld game console and proudly presents it to Li Huowang. As soon as he sees the gift, Li Huowang's eyes light up, and he rushes to grab it. But Yang Na doesn't let him take it so easily. She playfully holds it high and teases, be a good boy and call me sister, and I'll give it to you. Every day in the hospital is incredibly boring, so Li Huowang quickly calls out sister. Then he snatches the game console from Yang Na's hand and says excitedly, ha ha ha, you really are my dear sister. The male lead quickly starts playing and says, you have no idea being stuck in this mental hospital all day is boring to death. Even if I'm not crazy, I'm about to go crazy. Hearing this, Yang Na sighs and says, Play a little less and remember to do your homework. Don't forget, do you remember what you promised me? Li Huowang stops what he's doing, looks up at her, his face suddenly becoming very serious. I remember. We will get into the same university together. As he speaks, the male lead moves closer to Yang Na, his affectionate gaze making her blush shyly. Then he gently and warmly hugs Yang Na. Perhaps just a hug at this moment makes Li Huowang's heart feel lighter and more peaceful than ever. I will definitely recover, Nana. She is moved upon hearing this, but tries to hold back her tears of happiness, softly comforting him. Get well soon. I'll wait for you. After a long chat, Yang Na stands up to leave Li Huo. Wang sits up and says, "It's late, let me walk you to the hospital gate." Yang Na casually replies, "Okay." With that, he slips his feet into the familiar hospital slippers. But just as he stands up, a hallucination appears in his mind. He feels that there is something strange about himself. The male lead puts his hands on his head in pain, his steps becoming unsteady. In his daze, he suddenly sees the pestle and mortar appear on the table near the bed. But that mortar should only appear in his virtual world. Li Huowang's body immediately trembles as he takes 2 steps back, his eyes filled with horror as he thinks, a pestle and mortar. Impossible. Seeing the change in Li Huowang's expression, his childhood friend Yang Na approaches with concern and asks, "What's wrong with you? Huowang, are you okay?" Meanwhile, the male lead thinks to himself in confusion, "These past few days I've clearly followed the doctor's instructions. Why is this happening?" Suddenly the pain gradually subsides. Li Huowang quickly regains his composure and playfully raises his hand, saying, "Ha ha, were you scared by me?" Hearing this, she pouts and turns away, saying, "What are you doing? Do you still think you're a kid?" Then she angrily turns away in a huff, and Li Huowang quickly chases after her, calling, Hey, don't be angry. I just wanted to tease you a bit for fun." With that, the male lead looks back at the table. The mortar turned out to be just the lunchbox he uses every day. After confirming, he thinks to himself, "Or did I see it wrong?" Then he quickly chases after Yang Na, urgently calling Nana, "Wait for me a moment." Running out into the courtyard, Li Huowang keeps calling, "Nana, don't be angry. I just wanted to make you happy." But suddenly the laughter of the surrounding patients triggers Li Huowang's hallucinations again. Their figures become blurry and a faint flickering image appears before his eyes. The male lead freezes and struggles to call out, "Nana, don't be angry with me anymore." But at this moment she also stops, although she doesn't turn to look back. Li Huowang quickly runs over, thinking with a bit of curiosity, is she really ignoring me after being shrugged off a few times? Yang Na finally turns back, unexpectedly, points at his face, and smiles charmingly. She says softly, "I'll come visit you next week. You have to be good in there." Seeing that Yang Na is no longer angry with him, the male lead sighs in relief and can't help but smile happily. He stands inside the hospital's iron gate, watching Yang Na's figure grow smaller in the distance. She also turns back and waves goodbye reluctantly before finally leaving. A while later, Li Huowang slowly walks back to his room, his steps heavy. As he walks, he thinks that moment in the hospital room, "I really saw the pestle and mortar. Could it be that my illness has gotten worse? If the illness is severe, I can't be discharged before the exam? Does that mean I won't be able to go to the same university as Yang Na? Dr. Li shouldn't be a problem. Dad said he's the best doctor he could find." Thinking this, the male lead raises his hands and sighs. This is so troublesome. Suddenly, he stops, as if he remembered something. Looking down at his breast pocket, he thinks, "Wait, there's something in my outer pocket." Immediately after confirming, the male lead's eyes widen in absolute horror. The thing he takes out of his pocket makes him utterly terrified. What the hell is happening? The male lead is confused and bewildered. Impossible, isn't this the candy that foolish junior sister gave me? Can an item from a hallucination appear in reality? Half believing, half doubting, the male lead reaches out to taste it. When he confirms that it is indeed sugar, Li Huowang's heart feels like it's about to leap out of his chest. Unconsciously, the first thought that comes to his mind is to quickly report this to Dr. Li, but after running a few steps, another thought suddenly appears in his mind. Wait, if this is real? Inside the hallucination, there's not just candy, but also my destiny. Li Huowang's eyes suddenly light up. My time has come. How can I be stopped? Suddenly, the surrounding scenery changes. The four-sided view begins to twist and transform. The clean and tidy hospital room has disappeared. In its place is the image of a desolate mountain forest and the somewhat familiar pestle and mortar. Just thinking about his future self becoming rich. This is an opportunity that could make Yang Na and me rich overnight. It could even make me climb to the peak of my life. But I can't conclude this matter so quickly. I want to clarify this. What is really going on? Thinking is doing the male lead. Quickly gathers everyone and asks, "Do you have any money on you?" Don't you understand what I mean by money? Gold, silver, jade pendants will also do. Anyway, you can't use it here, so lend it to me for a while. But even after he talked until he was foaming at the mouth, their faces remained as blank and dazed as a cow wearing a bow. Seeing this, Li Huowang feels a pang of sadness, sighs deeply, and thinks, "Tsk, forget it. How could you medicine guides have any money?" Just then, a clear voice rings out, Li Shi Xiong senior brother, Li. The girl who was helped by Li Huowang stammers, "Can you come over here for a moment?" As she speaks, she shyly tugs on his shirt. They both move to a less crowded spot and the girl slowly sits down. Faced with this action, the male lead is a bit confused and exclaims, "You?" But before he can finish his sentence, the girl cuts in. "Take this off." As she speaks, she removes the anklet from her foot. Then she holds it out to the male lead and cheerfully continues, "Does this help, Li Shijiong?" Seeing the bracelet, the male lead approaches without hesitation and takes it. He holds it up, examining it carefully, thinking to himself, "It's a bit small, but it seems quite heavy. Say what you will, this is still gold." He silently rejoices and puts the gold bracelet in his breast pocket, saying, "This doesn't seem too bad. I'll borrow this gold anklet for a while, and I'll return it to you later." "Oh, this candy is for you, you can eat it. The taste isn't bad, quite sweet." The girl happily accepts it and thanks him profusely. "Yes, thank you, Li Shi Xiong." The actions of the two have drawn many eyes. A man scoffs and says, "Tsk tsk. I thought there was something interesting to see, but it turns out to be nothing so boring." Just then, an annoyed voice rings out, "What are you all gathered here for? Get back to work." Hearing this extremely annoying sound coming from an inner sect disciple, the crowd quickly disperses, hurrying back to their work positions. Only Li Huowang remains motionless, sitting there. This catches the disciple's attention, and he speaks up, "Li Shidi, it's a pity you didn't become a medicine guide for master last time." Li Huowang glances back and realizes the speaker is the messenger of the high-ranking Taoist. His name seems to be Xuan Yang. Seeing Li Huowang say nothing more, he shouts, "Humph, all of you get to work properly. If you don't finish master's medicine, be careful. He doesn't skin you all alive." Li Huowang completely ignores his strange and eerie tone. His attention is focused on a glowing round jade pendant hanging from his hip. He thinks to himself, "This thing must be an antique, a beautiful jade pendant. If I take this to the real world and sell it, I'll surely get a lot of money. But sooner or later it will be mine." That very night at midnight, Li Huowang's figure appears outside Xuanyang's cave dwelling. Stepping out of the room, he sighs and thinks, "I didn't expect it to be this smooth. Xuanyang isn't in his cave tonight. If I take this thing out to sell, it'll be at least enough for tuition for me and Nana to go to university." Immediately after, the male lead happily heads out singing as he walks. "La la la la, the jade pendant is mine, la 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 la." But suddenly, a beam of light shoots out from ahead. Instantly, Li Huowang freezes to listen to the situation. Slightly surprised, he mutters to himself, "Is there someone ahead?" Before he can compose himself, a sound whispers close to his ear. "Li Shidi, why are you still here at this hour?" Li Huowang is startled by the voice and fearfully turns to look, exclaiming in horror, "Xuanyang Shu Xiong senior brother, Xuanyang, why are you wearing the clothes of a medicine guide?" Although the light is somewhat dim, the male lead can still clearly see the outfit he is wearing. Xuanyang casually replies, "Looks like your luck isn't too bad." With that, his expression changes, and he quickly pulls Li Huowang along. He panics and says, "Go come with us. Let's escape from this damn place together." The senior brothers have held the door and cleared the way. Hearing this, Li Huowang is so surprised he can't speak, struggling to get out each word. You want to escape, don't you?" But as soon as the words are out, Li Huowang is immediately punched straight in the face, causing immense pain. Then he yells, "If you don't come with us, then just die here. We absolutely won't let you go and report to that scabby old man." For Li Huowang himself facing a life-or-death situation, with a bit of panic he remains silent, his heart filled with contempt. He curses silently. This turn of events is really annoying. Anyway, I can return to the hospital any time. What can a bunch of NPCs in a hallucination do to me? Thinking this, he closes his eyes tightly and starts to take a deep breath. When he opens his eyes again, he finds himself back in the real world. Still the same room, the same space. He is indeed still tied up, and that group of senior and junior brothers has also disappeared. He struggles and shouts incessantly, "Is anyone there? Can anyone help me loosen these ropes?" After a while of struggling in vain, Li Huowang helplessly resigns himself to being tied up until morning. He thinks to himself, "The nurses must be fast asleep by now. I can't confirm whether I managed to bring back the jade pendant and the gold anklet. Oh well, the only way is to wait a bit longer and then go back to see what the situation over there is like." With that thought, he drifts off into a deep sleep. When he wakes up again, he finds himself lying on the cold limestone floor of the cave. He is still in the same spot as before he returned to the hospital, but the others are gone, not a single person to be seen. The male lead silently rejoices and exclaims, "Ha ha ha, how can my own hallucination harm me?" Li Huowang gently puts his hand in to check the jade pendant and the gold anklet, confirming once more. Seeing everything is still intact, the male lead falls asleep. When he once again returns to himself in the large shared bed lying in the hay, patiently waiting for dawn to arrive, just thinking about the value of the jade pendant excites him so much that he can't sleep. Without a clock, Li Huowang doesn't know how much time has passed. When he sees the senior and junior brothers on both sides starting to wake up, he also sits up. The sky finally brightens, and suddenly there's the sound of hurried footsteps as someone shouts, "Get up, don't sleep anymore. Master has ordered everyone to gather at Huan Hall." The voice comes from a Taoist in a robe with his hair tied in a top knot, who panics and rushes in from outside shouting breathlessly. This news makes everyone confused, but if it's the vice master summoning them, they have no reason to refuse. While the male lead remains calm, the people around him are already buzzing with discussion. What happened? I don't know. Hurry up, if we're late, there'll be trouble. Only Li Huowang remains completely indifferent to everything happening here. A while later at Qingfeng Temple, Huan Hall, everyone has quickly gathered in this place. A dry cough makes everyone's body tense up. The scabby old man speaks up, "Is everyone here?" The male lead thinks to himself, "What is this old man planning to do now?" He continues, "Last night at the hour of Z someone tried to escape. Among them were 2 of my personal disciples. This Taoist is very heartbroken. He says he's heartbroken, but his face looks like he's about to explode with anger. Trailing behind him are the tightly bound bodies of the 4 who tried to escape last night. He drags them down into the middle of the crowd and says loudly, 'The rule of our son, Zhonghua sect, is to reward merits and punish crimes. Therefore,' but their reaction is to look at him struggling and muttering as if they want to say something, but their mouths are gagged with rags, preventing them from uttering a single word. Seeing this, the male lead thinks to himself, 'Already caught.' So pathetic. The scabby old man seems unwilling to hear their explanation, lifting them with one hand and throwing them far away. With one hand he forms a Taoist seal, points forward, and triumphantly shouts, 'Open!' Instantly, a large, deep cave appears from under the ground, and the group of escapees falls straight into it. Just a moment later, from within the cave come frantic, sorrowful screams and the sound of flesh being torn along with the continuous sound of breaking bones. Faced with this horrific scene, many of the young Taoists' legs begin to tremble and their eyes wish they could close. Li Huowang's mind keeps repeating, 'Hallucination. It's all a hallucination. Li Huowang, everything in this hallucination is created by you, so you don't need to be afraid.' All around, everyone stands stock still, not moving a muscle. Suddenly, in the very dark, unusually dark cave, a pitch-black patch appears. From the cave, strange tendril-like vines suddenly attack the people around. It seems to want to take everyone away. Only he is not grabbed by those vines. The air around is pungent, making people nauseous, filled with the smell of fresh blood. Li Huowang thinks in a daze. What is this? Could it also be something I created in my hallucination? Impossible things in a hallucination won't harm me. Something like this has never happened before. Meanwhile, the scabby old man stands with his hands behind his back. Leisurely standing amidst the grotesque vines sticking out behind him, he says loudly, "From now on, if anyone dares to have improper thoughts, remember what you have witnessed today. I, the Taoist, tell you helping people achieve immortality is a great merit. If I achieve immortality, I will naturally not forget you." With that, he leans close to Li Huowang and says, "Last night those traitors invited you to leave with them. Why didn't you go?" Hearing this, Li Huowang is about to open his mouth, but his mind keeps thinking, hallucination. He and these things are just my hallucinations. He is just a thought in my head. Why should I be afraid of him? But before Li Huowang can speak, the old man pats his head and says softly, "Good. Your talent is not bad. From now on, you don't need to work in the medicine room anymore. From now on, you will be my registered disciple in charge of managing the raw materials room." Hearing this, Li Huowang is stunned. His status has been elevated. But he immediately thinks a registered disciple managing the raw materials room, that's not right. It must be because too many people have died, so he doesn't have enough minions anymore. After a moment of hesitation, the old man continues, "That's right. You have become my disciple, so you must have a Taoist name. From now on, your Taoist name will be Xuanyang." Hearing this somewhat familiar Taoist name, the male lead finds it ridiculous and thinks, the previous Xuanyang just died, and I immediately become the new Xuanyang. Just then, he throws a small cloth bag to Li Huowang and says, "Since you're new to the sect, I should give you a gift. Take it. These 5 items are divine medicines I have refined. Eating them will not only increase your lifespan by 10 years, but also help you temporarily achieve great supernatural power to save your life." Then he continues to puff up his chest and say, "You all see confronting this Taoist is the path to death. But as long as you help this Taoist, there will surely be rewards, and the rewards will be extremely generous." Li Huowang looks at the pills in his hand and shudders in fear, thinking, these pills weren't made. Using people were they? Am I crazy? Why do I care about things in a hallucination? This is all absolutely fake. I can't possibly be real. It's all fake. I absolutely must not be deluded anymore. A while later, seeing his purpose achieved, the scabby old man waves his dirty long sleeves, making everyone disperse and continue their work. Then Xuanyang also opens his eyes to return to the present. Looking at the treasures brought out from the virtual world, Li Huowang can't help but exclaim in surprise, "Oh my God, I really brought everything out. Next I just need to confirm if the jade pendant and gold are real or fake. Or if the gold and jade pendant are real, does this elixir also have an effect? If the pills I bring out and eat really have an effect, then is that place a hallucination after all? What the hell is going on? If everything is real, I can also protect myself. If it's fake, then I won't be harmed either." Suddenly, Yang Na rushes in frantically, flinging the door open and shouting, "Li Huowang, I had to skip self-study class and sneak over the wall after getting your call. You'd better have something important to say. If this is another one of your pranks, Seeing Yang Na had arrived, Li Huowang looks around, checks, then pushes Yang Na inside and slams the door shut. He even pulls the window curtains, his actions very suspicious. Yang Na watches her friend's unusual actions with a bit of unease in her heart, her cheeks blushing as she stammers, Li Huowang, why are you pulling the curtains? The nurses next door can hear you." As soon as she finishes speaking, the nurse's muffled laughter comes from the bedside speaker. Hey, it's okay. It's nothing. We can't hear anything, little brother Li, go for it." Li Huowang takes the jade pendant from his pocket and places it in Yang Na's palm. Then he loudly replies to the nurses, "Hey ladies, can you please not gossip like that? Focus on the serious patients' rooms." Yang Na holds up the jade pendant to observe it, her eyes filled with curiosity as she wonders, "What is this?" Li Huowang whispers softly, "Don't speak, listen to me." Immediately after, he whispers into Yang Na's ear, and after hearing it, she is so surprised her eyes widen. 1 day, 2 days, then 3 days' time passes day by day. Li Huowang's mood becomes increasingly anxious. The people outside, even his parents, don't believe him. They all think he's crazy. The only person he can turn to is Nana. Only she is willing to listen seriously. The male lead tells himself, "Nana, you have to believe me. Just then, the loudspeaker announces, "Little Lee, your little girlfriend is here to see you." Hearing the nurse's announcement, Li Huowang flips up from the bed like a carp, his eyes fixed on the door as he excitedly exclaims, "Nana." He rushes out like a madman to greet his girlfriend, his heart filled with joy. She really came back. Just a few steps out the door, Li Huowang comes across two anxious-looking security guards. A bit curious, Li Huowang softly asks Uncle Zhao what happened. Is something wrong? The security guard, hearing his name, glances back and replies, "Little Li, you should close the door quickly. Don't go out on your own. If you see Mr. Liu, report it immediately. He must have secretly vomited his medicine again." Learning this, the male lead replies with worry in his heart, "Oh yes. Okay." He immediately goes back into the room and slams the door shut, thinking to himself, Mr. Liu escaped from the serious ward. How could that old frail body escape? To hell with it. This has nothing to do with me. I need to go see Nana. Finishing his thought, Li Huowang goes outside to look for Nana. They chat together behind the main building where there are fewer people. Nana says, "Huowang, as you said, I found someone to appraise the jade pendant and gold anklet you gave me. Indeed, the jade pendant is an antique, and its estimated value is no less than 400,000. That anklet is also real gold hearing." Nana say this, Li Huowang puts his hands on his head and exclaims in excitement, "I knew it. I'm not crazy. Ha ha ha. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy at all." As he speaks, the male lead emotionally hugs Yang Na, lifting her up in excitement. She is a bit surprised and shyly says, "Hey, slow down." After a long period of excitement, they finally calm down. Li Huowang walks and talks. "It seems my ability is real. I can't let it be cured so quickly. Nana, are you ready to become a little rich lady?" Teased by Li Huo. Yang Na's face turns slightly red. She playfully punches him and says, "What rich lady, what nonsense are you talking, you stinky little brother?" Then she says softly, "Huowang, I don't need money. Compared to this ability, your health is more important. Promise me you'll continue treatment and not stop taking your medicine. Otherwise, I won't help you anymore in the future." The male lead reluctantly replies, "Okay, I promise you." Suddenly, behind them, a figure appears and approaches. He quickly rushes over and grabs Yang Na, then pushes the girl to the ground, his mouth watering with desire. At this moment, Li Huowang furiously shouts "Old Liu" and rushes over. "That's my girlfriend, let her go now." But before he can reach them, a brick flies out of nowhere at lightning speed and smashes hard into Li Huowang's head. Red blood immediately splatters everywhere. The world spins and Li Huowang falls to the ground. His vision is gradually covered in red. His head hurts as if it's splitting apart. Lying on the ground with blurry vision, Li Huowang looks towards Yang Na with pity and mumbles, "No stop," but he is helpless, unable to stand up and protect the one he loves. In this critical situation, he remembers the words of the scabby-headed man. Eating these elixir pills will not only increase your lifespan by 10 years, but also temporarily grant you great supernatural power to save your life. Trembling, he takes a pill from his pocket, mixes it with the blood flowing from his head, and shoves it into his mouth. Yang Na, on the other hand, is worried, her eyes filled with tears, as she trembles and says, "What's wrong with you?" She also witnessed Li Huowang putting something in his mouth. Her eyes wide with astonishment. In an instant, the elixir is absorbed into Li Huowang's body. He feels a burning heat throughout, like a warm current flowing from his stomach into his limbs and organs. In a flash, he feels his body filled with power, his muddled mind becoming incredibly clear. Immediately after, he darts like a rocket to old Wang's position, to the old man's astonishment. A powerful punch is thrown, smashing straight into the old man's face. The old man's face is instantly distorted by the force of the punch, teeth and lips jumbled, blood spurting from his mouth. Li Huowang seems to go berserk, furiously punching and shouting, "I told you to stop." The continuous sound of breaking bones echoes, and old Wang's head becomes like a bowl of soft pulled noodles flying out. With bloodshot eyes and a face covered in blood, the male lead laughs triumphantly and says, "Didn't you hear me?" Perhaps after swallowing the elixir, the male lead can no longer control his emotions. He turns into an extremely brutal and fierce person, like a ferocious tiger, without even knowing it. Life is too good. Pepsi. And the result of Li Huowang's actions is that he is tightly bound. Wearing the hospital's specialized straitjacket, He struggles incessantly. Let me go. Click. Click, the door slowly opens and Dr. Li enters the room with disappointment. Seeing him, Li Huowang immediately panics and starts explaining, I already said it was just self-defense. I did it to protect Yang Na, he was the one who attacked Nana first. At this moment, the male lead is even locked in the isolation ward for dangerous patients. After hearing this, the doctor pushes up his glasses with a winding index finger and speaks. You call that self-defense? You almost killed him, you know. He is currently in the intensive care unit, and your kick almost sent him straight to meet his ancestors. You've been here for a long time. You know everyone's situation before you acted, didn't you consider old Lee's condition? I'm a bit disappointed because I once thought you were a sensible kid, but it seems I was wrong. However, Li Huowang still shows a bit of defiance in his reply. He's mentally ill. Does being mentally ill mean he can do whatever he wants? What if Yang Na was hurt? For my actions, I would even be willing to go to jail. Dr. Li, hearing this, although very angry, tries to maintain a calm expression and asks further, Little Li, tell me the truth. How did you manage to beat him up like that? That's not something a normal person can do. Hearing these words, the male lead becomes extremely tense. His attention focuses on his outer pocket as he stammers that seeing him trying to hide something, Dr. Li emphasizes, think carefully before you answer. I hate it when my patients lie. Although the doctor's tone is cheerful and gentle, Li Huowang feels an invisible pressure in the room and thinks, what should I do? I can't let him know about the pills. While not knowing how to act or answer, he thinks of escaping by returning to the virtual space. Just by closing his eyes, everything can be resolved. Despite Dr. Li's attempts to call him Little Li, are you listening to me? Little Li, Li Huowang. In just a few seconds, Li Huowang finds himself falling into a hallucination again. Lying on the familiar hay in the cave, Li Huowang thinks, anyway, this is also a way to solve it. This time he has no intention of returning so quickly, as long as the doctor stays by his side. It's fine. A while later, he is led to a mysterious place he has never been to before. The sound of the three officials' sutra echoes as the scabby old man stands in the middle reading aloud. Suisan yi shen ren nai yi shao tai ji. Bu shou hao jie ji ming ding ying wu liang pin bao zhu fu ji. Ipuji kun mang dao ganzhu tian en dan san ji. After a while of chanting, the scabby-headed man says, Xuan Yang has just entered Qingfeng Temple. He surely doesn't understand many things. You are the senior brother, guide him. A disciple who was just called immediately replies, Yes, master. With that, he waves his hand and says, All right, it's past the hour of Mao, there's nothing else, everyone go eat. But the eyes of a disciple sitting next to the scabby old man keep glancing at Li Huowang in a terrifying way. Li Huowang also accidentally meets his gaze and thinks, Who is he? Why is he looking at me so scarily? Immediately after, they both slowly walk away. And as they walk, Xuanyuan explains, The person next to Master is Zheng Kun, Shi Xiong, senior brother Zheng Kun. Since Zheng Kan Shi Xiong and Zheng Zhen Shi Xiong betrayed us, he is now the last disciple Master has taken in. From now on, when you see him here, you must be respectful. He is very petty. Hearing this, the male lead puts his hand on his forehead and wonders, Xuan Yuan Shixiong, I've just become Master's disciple. What should I do next? Please guide me, senior brother. Xuanyuan continues, even though Master personally accepted you as a disciple and let you manage the raw materials room. But if you want Master to teach you the Taoist arts to become an immortal, it's still a long way off. Hearing this, Li Huowang is shocked and exclaims, Become an immortal. Then he frantically rushes over and hugs Xuanyuan Shijiong, saying, Can Master really become an immortal? Xuanyuan is a bit surprised. Why are you so excited? Then pats his shoulder and says, Master's supernatural powers are of course very formidable. But the Taoist arts of immortality are probably only taught to inner sect disciples like Zheng Kun Shixiong. After learning this, the male lead's heart is full of anticipation. Become an immortal. This place really has a lot of good things. I must take this opportunity to earn more money from here. But after being led to the giant alchemy room of the scabby old man, he has to reconsider his views. On one side, the scabby old man with an excited face shouts, Open the furnace. The alchemy furnace immediately opens. A blinding light radiates all around. White smoke billows from the furnace, and the air is filled with the fragrance of elixirs. A giant elixir appears constantly glowing around it, and then a gourd is thrown out continuously sucking the elixir inside. Like that, Following the illusory yellow stream of energy, the elixirs from the furnace line up and enter. Seeing this scene, the scabby old man laughs excitedly. Ha ha ha, not bad, not bad. This very moment opened Li Huo Wang's eyes and made him change his mindset. Damn, I only thought about making money. My vision is too narrow. If I can bring this ability back to reality, then what could be more wonderful? Just then, the scabby old man calls out, Xuanyang. Hearing this, the male lead silently rejoices. I already have a task. I must find a way to do it well, so this scabby old man will teach me supernatural powers. Li Huowang thinks clearly and quickly clasps his hands in a salute. Master, do you have any instructions? He holds the gourd full of elixirs and continues. You are now in charge of the raw materials room. Go bring the medicine guide named Bai Ling Miao here for me. After hearing the name Bai Ling Miao, Li Huowang freezes speechless. The image of the girl who gave him the anklet immediately appears in his mind. And she is also the Bai Ling Miao that the scabby old man is talking about. Seeing him say nothing, the scabby old man moves closer to Li Huowang and says in a low voice, I'm talking to you. Didn't you hear me? He feels a murderous aura emanating from him. Li Huowang sighs helplessly and closes his eyes tightly. When he opens his eyes again, he has returned to the pristine white hospital room. If in the past he would have followed without a second word, but the problem is that the other world might be real now. If he really takes the person, he's afraid he'll actually have to kill someone. In reality, he's facing a mental block. As soon as he opens his eyes, he is met with the worried faces of Dr. Li and his mother, both frowning in confusion, calling Huowang, Huowang. Li Huowang with a pale face speaks up. Mom, why is Dr. Li here too? Before Li Huowang can say more, his mother, with a haggard face, gently strokes her son and asks worriedly, I heard you fought with someone in the hospital. Your head is all bandaged up. Does it hurt a lot? The male lead quickly reassures his mother. It's okay, Mom. It doesn't hurt. Don't worry, Mom, I'm fine. My condition is much better. The mother, somewhat relieved, sighs deeply and says, My foolish son, look how thin you've become. Is the hospital food not good? Here, these are the milk grapes you love the most. Let Mom feed you. As she speaks, she puts a grape into the male lead's mouth. He mumbles, Mom, slow down. It was hard for you to get here. Just talking to me is enough. After feeding him the grapes, the mother stands up, her face showing a hint of worry as she continues. All right, it's a good thing you're awake. Otherwise, Dr. Li would have taken me to meet the family of the old man who hit you. After a moment of silence, Dr. Li speaks up, sister-son patient. Liu's family has been waiting for a very long time. She replies with some embarrassment. I know, Dr. Li. Let me just say one last thing to my son. Li Huowang stammers. Mom, I was just defending myself. Mr. Liu attacked Yang Nana first. She slowly puts the box into her bag and gently says, The doctor has told me everything about what happened that day. Son, don't worry, Mom is here. But Li Huowang still can't be happy. Seeing his mother's haggard face, a wave of sadness washes over him. The mother quickly leaves, turning back to add, All right, I'm going now. Remember to listen to the doctor and take your medicine on time. She seems to be trying to suppress her emotions, trying to appear strong to reassure her son, but in reality, her heart is breaking. As a mother, she is helpless because she cannot bear the pain for her son. Her eyes glisten with determination as she thinks, When I get there, I will definitely give them a piece of my mind. Suddenly, Li Huowang feels a sudden headache coming on. The image of his mother also gradually becomes blurry and ethereal. He thinks to himself, Damn it, my consciousness is about to be pulled back to that side again. Mom's sudden arrival made me forget to think of a way to deal with the scabby old man. As Dr. Li approaches and says, All right, little Li, we can continue our conversation later, but his image also gradually distorts and then disappears. The male lead can only think to himself, Talk. Let's talk again when I come back next time. I have more important things to deal with. In the blink of an eye, the male lead is in the virtual world. His eyes slowly opening. The scabby old man's voice echoes in his ear, Oh, you're awake. Li Huowang weakly replies, Yes, I'm awake, master. With that, he slowly sits up. What meets his eyes is the somewhat fierce face of his master, and in his hand, he holds something rather disgusting. Li Huo Wang thinks to himself, I wonder if the matter of using Bailing Miao for alchemy is finished. Suddenly, the scabby old man rushes over and squeezes his mouth shut. If you're awake, then open your mouth for this Taoist. With that, he roughly shoves something into his mouth. Countless tendrils sprout from Li Huo Wang's mouth. He thinks in panic, this asshole, what did he just shove into my mouth? The scabby old man's voice still echoes. That's right, if you don't open your mouth wide, how can you swallow the black Tai Sui? While Li Huo Wang writhes in agony from swallowing the disgusting thing, the scabby old man's voice continues to echo in his ears. This black Tai Sui is really a good thing. Just swallow it and it can suppress your madness. The male lead quickly raises his hand, struggling to pull the disgusting thing out of his mouth, thinking, I won't eat it. I'm not sick. After a while of struggling, Li Huo Wang finally manages to get it out. His mouth is still black as ink from the black Tai Sui, and a wave of nausea washes over him. Seeing this, the scabby old man shouts, Chang Ming Chang Ren. The two who were called immediately appear behind Li Huo Wang, responding in unison, Master, the disciples are here. Immediately they draw their sharp swords and point them at Li Huo Wang. Then they restrain him, giving him no chance to resist. The scabby old man angrily says, Won't eat boy. This is not for you to decide. The male lead thinks to himself, Damn it, how is it not my decision? Just close my eyes and then open them again, and all of this will be over. The old man is crazy, haha. Just a second later, the space transforms, and Li Huo Wang is on the hospital bed. Still that familiar space. Huo Wang startles and sits up, feeling as if he has returned from the dead. What meets his eyes is Yang Na. She leans down and asks worriedly, Huo Wang, are you okay? Are you uncomfortable anywhere? Seeing Nana, the fear in his heart gradually dissipates. He calms down and weakly calls Nana. Just then, Dr. Li pushes up his glasses with his hand, frowns and approaches, saying, Little Li, what did you see in your hallucination? Lately your emotions have been quite volatile. Hearing the doctor say this, Li Huo Wang suddenly flinches. He thinks worriedly, a hallucination. That's right, I haven't completely left the hallucination. The doctor's image is still blurry. Li Huo Wang, with worry in his heart, quickly asks the doctor, Dr. Li, is there any medicine that can temporarily control hallucinations? I want to rest for a bit. The doctor is a bit surprised and seems to be thinking something over. Then he turns and walks towards the door, replying, There's still some of the last medicine left. I'll prescribe more for you. Yang Na also quickly walks towards the locker to search. She remembers that the medicine was left here. The doctor adds, Look here. Little Li, medication is only supportive. To completely escape the hallucinations, you must follow my method. Immediately after Yang Na finds the medicine, she excitedly brings it to Li Huo Wang. Here's the medicine, Huo Wang. Let me feed it to you. The male lead quickly replies, No need for water. Just give me the medicine first. The capsules feel gritty and are very nauseating to eat, but he forces himself to swallow them despite the nausea. The hallucination still surrounds me, a mixture of real and fake, full of illusion. As soon as the medicine goes down his stomach, Huo Wang feels much more relieved. He sighs in relief. I'm safe now. As long as I take the medicine, the hallucination on the other side won't appear anymore. The words just spoken seem to freeze the air, making it quiet. Yang Na speaks with doubt. Safe from what, Huo Wang? What scared you in the hallucination just now? Huo Wang struggles to reply. It's nothing. They just talk strangely over there. They said I have a madness disorder and wanted to feed me something strange to cure it. How ridiculous am I, a modern person, a hallucination of the medicine guide Li Huo Wang. Clearly the other side is the hallucination. As soon as he finishes speaking, Huo Wang's body trembles. His head spins, and a grotesque tendril emerges from his mouth. Instantly, the space transforms, the haunting nightmare reappears. He is confused. Didn't I just take the medicine? How the hell can I still be hallucinating? It's okay, just close my eyes and then open them. All the hallucinations will disappear. But this time, it's not as he thought. After closing and opening his eyes again, the virtual space still appears. In front of him are still the grotesque, scabby old man and the two senior brothers. The old man says, Tisk, tisk. Just now, you said you wouldn't eat, but in the end, you almost swallowed my hand. To be this crazy and still say you don't have a madness disorder. All right, the madness is gone now. You can work properly. Remember, Qingfeng Temple doesn't support idlers. Come here on the 1st of every month to get medicine. With that, he quickly leaves. Leaving Li Huo Wang alone, filled with confusion and suffering, he thinks, how can this be? Could it be that this place is reality, and the reality out there is the illusion? And so Li Huo Wang cries out in anguish, the real and virtual worlds mixed. He can no longer distinguish between what is real and what is fake. Li Huo Wang's face is numb, disbelieving his own eyes. He whispers, impossible. The disgusting chain-like tentacle slips out of his throat. He stubbornly refuses to accept it. Nana is not a hallucination. He collapses to the ground, vomiting mouthfuls of blood. Impossible? Suddenly a familiar figure appears smiling and calling him Huo Wang. He startles and freezes Li Huo Wang with tears in his eyes, looks up and gives a rare smile. Nana, you haven't left. You're still here. Before he can finish speaking, his eyes widen as if seeing something truly terrifying. Nana's body gradually disappears and he can only stand by and watch. Li Huo Wang reaches out, but all he can grasp are formless white fragments. He screams, Nana Nana. His hand clenches, trying to hold on in vain. Li Huo Wang struggles to crawl forward, his body covered in wounds. He raises his hand high. Angrily, he grinds his teeth and asks himself, why? He looks up at the sky and shouts, why I've come to this damn place and this illness still won't let me go. In the cave, the atmosphere becomes quiet. Everyone is already seated at the medicine grinding tables. Bai Ling Miao brings 3 steamed buns to Li Huo Wang. He is sitting despondently, leaning against the rock wall. She sits down in front of him and says caringly, Li Shi Xiong, eat a steamed bun. You haven't eaten all day. Li Huo Wang coldly takes out a green jade pendant and asks, you said before, how did this jade pendant end up with you? Bai Ling Miao calmly replies, it was you Li Shi Xiong who gave it to me. I said I didn't need it, but you insisted on giving it to me. A memory flashes. Nana, I'm not sick. Meanwhile, Bai Ling Miao slowly continues. After you gave it to me, you were laughing and shouting that you weren't sick. Li Huo Wang, with a nonchalant expression, smirks and asks, and then what? She recounts it as if it were true. Then Wang Shixiong took advantage of your illness and hit you on the head with a rock. The 2 hazy memories merge. His dazed eyes remember the blood-covered face. Bai Ling Miao lowers her head, her hands clenched tightly. In a slightly angry tone, she says, Wang Shixiong thought you were dead, so he wanted to attack me. Hearing this, Li Huo Wang is furious and curses under his breath. That fat, split-lipped Wang Shixiong. Suddenly he leans in close to her face and asks, where is that guy surnamed Wang? Bai Ling Miao furrows her brow, her face astonished as she replies, you Li Shixiong beat him to death. Don't you remember anything? But in Li Huo Wang's memory of that fight wasn't the person he fought, Old Man Liu. Then he tells himself, so there was no Old Man Liu at all. I'm truly going insane. Li Huo Wang looks up at the sky. In front of him is a giant blood-stained censer. He stands up and analyzes dazedly. If this side is reality, then what about the junior sister and the other medicine people from before? Not just them, everyone in this place will die. He walks slowly, step by step, thinking, the mastermind behind all this is that scabby-headed guy. While Li Huo Wang is hesitating, his master's voice comes from this space asking, Xuan Yang, it seems you have something to say to me. The words startle him, and he wonders, when did this scabby-headed guy get here? Li Huo Wang composes himself, respectfully clasps his hands, and replies, Master! But he continues to urge, answer my question. Then turning with a terrifying face, he questions, what are you thinking? Li Huo Wang awkwardly replies, Disciple, disciple, is his mind quickly races, and he slickly continues. Disciple admires master's alchemy skills and was wondering when I could reach that level. Zheng Kun standing beside him hears this and thinks with a disdainful tone, what cheap and despicable flattery. His master hearing this laughs heartily with pleasure. Ha, having ambition is a good thing. Zheng Kun's face darkens with a hint of jealousy, so master is actually listening to my flattery. Meanwhile, the master lightly strokes his mustache and cunningly continues. But it's not that this Taoist won't teach you, it's just that the art of external alchemy is not that simple. Normal elixirs are fine, but if you want to cultivate both internal and external alchemy to become an immortal through the way of pills, then Li Huowang pretends to add, is master about to become an immortal. In his heart, he silently rejoices. Phew, I escaped. He climbs a steep cliff and says proudly, becoming an immortal is not that simple, but this Taoist will definitely succeed. He slowly asks, do you know why? Li Huowang slightly raises his head sweating and replies, disciple does not know. His eyes narrow, becoming deep and meaningful. Suddenly, Zheng Kun bows and reminds Master the hour of Z is approaching. If we don't prepare for alchemy, I'm afraid we'll be delayed. Hearing this, he lets out a cold snort and waves his hand. Very well, then, let's start preparing. They hurry to prepare, and Zheng Kun doesn't forget to order him around. Xuanyang quickly go to the raw materials room and bring the medicine guide I told you to bring the other day. Hearing this, Li Huowang is bewildered. What medicine guide? Zheng Kun angrily approaches, points at his chest, and repeats, the other day, you were sleepwalking. Master told you to bring the white medicine guide, but you didn't. As a result, Master missed the alchemy time. Have you forgotten? He carefully instructs, the medicinal properties of the guide and the timing of alchemy both affect the quality of the pill. There can be no deviation at all. He clicks his tongue and waves his hand. Forget it. Talking to you is useless. Hurry up and get to work. Hearing this, Li Huowang freezes his face, showing a hint of shock. The white medicine guide. The alchemy with Bai Ling Miao is not over yet. At this time in Qingfeng Temple, in the raw materials room, everyone is gathered in one place. Their faces numb. Someone looks inside and says worriedly, it's here again. We can't escape. Everyone is going to die here. Li Huowang coldly looks at Bai Ling Miao, who is squatting on the ground. He commands Bai Ling Miao, you follow me. She sorrowfully replies softly, yes. Suddenly she calls out, Li Shishong. The call makes him startle and turn his head back. He looks at her. She looks at him with sincere eyes and chokingly asks for a favor. Li Shixiong, if you survive and leave this place, can you help me pass a message to my family? Bai Ling Miao lowers her head, her voice emotional. My parents live at the foot of Niuxin Mountain in Liang country. Please tell them that. Tears well up in her eyes, her voice breaking as she chokes out each word, that your unfilial daughter cannot take care of you in your old age. After saying that, she sobs helplessly. Li Huowang coldly replies without even glancing at her, I can't help you with this. Your time is running out. Bai Ling Miao freezes her eyes wide as she looks at Li Huowang. Her face shows a hint of fear. He rolls up his sleeves, tightens his grip on the small sword in his hand, and coldly says, now take off your pants. Bai Ling Miao, with tears welling in her eyes, looks at him with a tragic expression. She softly calls Li Shixiong. At the same time, his master is sitting on a towering alchemy furnace. Surrounding the furnace is a dark gloom with fresh blood splattered everywhere. Li Huowang steps forward with Bai Ling Miao. He says bluntly, Master, the medicine guide has been brought. Hearing this, he laughs sinisterly. Hey, hey! Xuanyang, you've done well. Good disciple, come here. With that, he extends his arm forward. A white source of power appears, wrapping around Bai Ling Miao's neck and pulling her away. Bai Ling Miao gasps in helplessness. In just a moment, she is lying in the palm of the evil master. He furrows his brow, his face showing discomfort as if he has discovered something. He mutters, At this moment, a stream of red blood flows down Bai Ling Miao's leg. Seeing this, the master sighs. Tsk, tsk, such bad luck. He mistakes that blood for the blood that flows from her during her period. In a very annoyed tone, he lifts her up and says, Why does it have to be this time of the month? The medicine's properties have been altered. After saying that, he forcefully throws her to the ground and coldly commands Xuanyang, Take this medicine guide back. Li Huowang respectfully replies, Yes, master. He smirks faintly, success. Next, I just need to get Bai Ling Miao out of here, but he suddenly changes his mind and continues, Wait, Xuanyang, if this medicine guide is not good, bring another one here. I remember there's another medicine guide. Hearing this, his face turns pale with shock. He bites his lip hard to suppress his emotions. He doesn't forget to urge hurry up, don't delay this Taoist's alchemy time. On the way back to the raw materials room, another person collapses to the ground, begging incessantly. Please, Li Shijiong, I don't want to die. Seeing the tears of the innocent girls, he realizes I was wrong. I can't save Bai Ling Miao and the people being crushed in the alchemy furnace. Blood has stained the entire cave red. His master, with blood splattered all over his face, glances at him and asks, "Aren't you very eager for the path of alchemy? Come here and take a closer look." He thinks to himself, if this old man continues his alchemy, I won't be able to save anyone. Tomorrow and the day after, there will still be medicine guides dying here. He shouts, "Open the furnace." A blinding light radiates out. Li Huowang tells himself, I cannot become his accomplice. At this moment, a blood-red pill has formed. He praises lavishly. Not bad, not bad. None of the other disciples can learn like you. He generously offers him a pill, a reward for you. There is only one way. While thinking, he bows and extends his hand to receive the pill, respectfully saying, "Thank you, Master, for bestowing this elixir upon me." After finishing the alchemy, he lightly brushes past Li Huowang. He mutters, "To save the medicine guides is to save myself." He doesn't forget to remind good disciple, eat it while it's still hot. He bites his lip, his eyes determined as he thinks, only by killing him. Li Huowang swallows the pill without hesitation. Suddenly he freezes. Something's wrong. There's a problem with this pill. He gasps, sticking out his tongue, and frantically pulls at his clothes, shouting, "Ouch, ouch, oh, it's so hot, so hot." His whole body heats up like it's on fire, smoke even rising from his chest like in the legends. Seeing him like this, he just coldly instructs Zhuanyang go back and rest. He looks at him with a sinister gaze and slowly explains, "This medicinal power is very strong. It will take some time to fully absorb it." Li Huowang endures the pain, bows and replies, "Yes, Master." He walks with difficulty, step by step, white smoke still billowing. His fingers keep digging into the rock wall, leaving marks. Just a second later, Li Huowang angrily punches and shatters a part of the stone wall. His strength is so terrifying that stone turns to dust. A painful memory flashes the pleas of the innocent before death. Li Xiong, I don't want to die. It keeps echoing in his head. His body seems to undergo a powerful transformation, convulsing in pain. I have eaten a pill refined from a person. He seems to feel the abundant power it brings, but just by eating one pill, I have gained this power of transformation. He collapses and vomits a brown liquid. He thinks helplessly, so how can I kill that bald old man who has eaten countless pills? Just then, a fair arm reaches out from behind. Bai Ling Miao supports him, her voice worried as she asks, "Li Xiong, are you okay?" He stammers, "Can't speak, ah." She understands his thoughts and gently advises senior brother, "You don't need to blame yourself. You were also forced, senior brother. You are also someone who can't be in control." Both of them fall silent. After a long while, Bai Ling Miao awkwardly clutches her clothes and softly calls Li Xiong. Her face starts to change, no longer as weak as before. Her eyes glint with hatred as she asks, "Do you want to deal with Master?" Caught off guard, Li Huowang is shocked and stares at her with wide eyes. He doesn't know if she is a friend or foe. Li Huowang quickly presses Bai Ling Miao against the wall and signals, "Shh, don't you value your life anymore? He can know what happens here." Ling Miao remains optimistic and replies, "It's okay, senior brother. Today is the day Du Lao. He goes back to the market. Master can't hear us now." Li Huowang furrows his brow and asks her, "What is that, Du Lao ye?" Around them, the 1,000 or so people are dazed, as if they've lost their souls. Whispers of fear spread. Are they going to take people as medicine guides again? We're definitely going to die. Li Huo. Wang turns to look at them. He thinks to himself, as expected, everyone now sees me as an accomplice of that scabby old man. He ignores them, takes Bai Ling Miao's hand and pulls her away. This place isn't safe. Let's change places. A very shabby-looking farmer scratches the back of his neck, his eyes still following Li Huowang. He leads Bai Ling Miao to a brighter place than before. On the way, he asks her, "Continue speaking. Who was the Du Lao Ye you just mentioned?" Bai Ling Miao tilts her head and replies, "Du Lao Ye is Du Lao Ye. It cannot be seen or touched." She starts to tell him, "My grandfather said that only those with high Taoist cultivation can control them. But on the 1st and 15th of every month, Dulao ye will return to the market. Hearing her story, Li Huowang falls into deep thought. In his mind, he thinks Dulao ye has to go to the market on the 1st and 15th. This means that on these 2 days the scabby old man cannot monitor the entire Qingfeng temple. This is indeed important information. Bailing Miao, seeing the male lead remain silent, continues loudly. Li Shixiong, let's get back to the main point. Do you really want to deal with Master? Li Huowang purses his lips in anger. Of course I hate that I can't eat him alive. Then I'll also take part in this. Bailing Miao smiles triumphantly. I also want to help. Suddenly another voice rings out. That person's hand is holding a strange object. Count me in too. Both Li Huowang and Bailing Miao turn around in surprise. Guhua holds 2 rock-like things in his hand and says with a smile, Li Shixiong probably doesn't remember this little brother. I wasn't named when I was born, so just call me Guhua. Gao Hua approaches them and gives them the 2 things he is holding. Hey, senior brother, senior sister-in-law, have some cake. Bailing Miao furrows her brow in annoyance. You were eavesdropping on us. Gao Hua turns his hand and laughs like a cunning merchant. No, how would this little brother dare to eavesdrop? I originally wanted to find Li Shixiong for protection, and coincidentally heard the last sentence of Bai Shi Mei. So Bailing Miao doesn't let him finish and cuts him off cautiously. You don't know anything. How can we believe you genuinely want to join? Gao Hua puts his hands on his hips and replies innocently, I admire Li Shixiong. Can't I join because of Li Shixiong? As for Li Huowang, he is glancing at them strangely and thinking, Oh, Xuanyang, did you gather people like this before? Then he speaks up and asks the person in front of him, Gu Hua, aren't you afraid of me? Gu Hua scratches his head and replies innocently, Why would I be afraid? Li Shixiong was also forced to do that. Li Huowang bursts out laughing and declares, All right, you're in too, as long as you go. Hua don't regret it. He thinks to himself, I hope I don't end up like Xuanyang. In the following days, I continued to search for a way to kill Dan Yang Zi. But with just me and the 2 beside me dealing with him is almost impossible. During this time, the medicine guides in the medicine room are brought to the alchemy room one by me. And what I can do is to remember their last words in my heart. Until the 8th medicine guide that day, as usual, I brought someone over. Li Huowang respectfully speaks up. Master, the medicine guide is ready. The scabby old man casually replies, I know. Xuanyang, you've been doing well lately. I've said it before. The rule of our West Sun Zhonghua sect is to reward merits and punish faults. If you want to learn alchemy, then I will teach you a method for refining blood pills first. Hearing this, Li Huowang is shocked, while his senior brother is so angry his eyes are seeing stars. The scabby old man is still talking. Don't look down on this method. Although it's simple, it's an immortal technique from the heavenly book. Yangzi begins to teach the alchemy formula to Li Huowang, who reads in a deep voice, Remember 2 liang of human pills, half a jin of fragrant aconite. Take 2 liang and 4 chen of yang starting stone at the 3rd ki of the Chou hour. Start the fire, bathe, and purify the heart. Yimu shi zhao yi shi sui shu yi shen shun zheng li. Huowang is listening attentively, quickly looking for materials to write with. Finally, he picks up a piece of charcoal and uses his robe as paper, carefully writing down every word. The scabby old man's voice is still reading. Use a gentle fire to slowly nurture it. At the 4th key of the Mao hour, open the furnace, and it will be successful immediately. When he finishes, he says loudly, Master, Disciple has written down the alchemy formula on my Taoist robe. Please check if there are any mistakes, Master. But instead of praise, a foot suddenly flies out. Huowang nodded and then asked in a low voice, If that's all, then where's the trouble? Why don't you just take the job? Lu Zhuangyuan forced a smile, his eyes darting around as if hiding a state secret. Well, it's this old man's first time performing a ghost opera, so I'm feeling a little spooked. So I thought if a great master like you were standing by my side, I'd be much less scared. After hearing this, Li Huowang just gave a faint smile. He clasped his hands behind his back, his eyes gazing into the distance like a philosopher contemplating fate. Sorry, I can't help with this. With that, he turned and walked away, his posture so nonchalant, it was as if he had just declined to attend a parent-teacher conference for a friend. He muttered to himself, I usually stay 3 miles away from that kind of thing. Why would I stick my neck out now? I'm very sober. Arriving back at the resting place before he could even sit down, Bai Ling Miao's panicked voice rang out. Senior Brother Li, our food supplies are almost gone. He turned to her. Not enough money. I still have a jade pendant. It can be exchanged for silver. She frowned and whispered, there are no pawn shops in this village. And even if there were, they wouldn't have enough silver to give back. Li Huowang froze. The financial situation was indeed as tight as a guitar string. Just then, as if fate had intentionally arranged it, Lu Zhuangyuan once again got involved. From afar, a voice called out, Young Taoist Master, Young Taoist Master. Both Huowang and Ling Miao turned around at the same time. Troop. Master Lu, Zhuangyuan, panting like an ox, pulling a plow, smiled with his eyes narrowed. Please reconsider, the Hu family's old master is extremely generous. Li Huowang frowned. How much is he paying? As soon as money was mentioned, the old man seemed to be re-energized. 10 liang of pure silver. It's 10 liang, young Taoist master. If you accept, we'll split it evenly, 5 liang each. 5 liang converted to copper coins is 5,000 wen enough to feed an entire opera troupe for a month. Hearing that, Bai Ling Miao's eyes sparkled like stars. How much rice can 5,000 wen buy? Li Huowang still said nothing. His head was spinning, calculating food silver expenses, and most importantly, are there any ghosts involved? Seeing his hesitation, Lu Zhuangyuan immediately raised the price. 6-4. You take 6, I take 4. This old man is begging you. Finding a deal like this these days is as hard as winning the lottery. Huowang was silent for a moment, then slowly spoke. Troop master. Lu, is there a blacksmith shop in this village? Lu Zhuangyuan was startled and bewildered. Huh. A blacksmith shop. Li Huowang pulled the old bronze bell from his chest and held it out in front of the man. I'll take this job, but first I need to fix this bell. I'm not afraid of ghosts, but it's embarrassing to ring a bell that doesn't make a sound. It seems the old master really values you. Li Huowang, despite the pain, forces a reply, his voice sharp. Shokun Shizhong, so what if master values me? Even if master passes down all the immortal techniques from the heavenly book, you still can't control me. If there's nothing else, please step aside, senior brother. I still have to clean up the alchemy materials. His sharp words enrage Zhengkun, who immediately strikes Li Huowang with a palm attack. He is sent flying, clearly feeling each of his ribs shattering. Zhengkun continuously kicks and curses. Just because you got one formula, who the hell do you think you are? The technique for immortality, master, didn't even tell me yet. He tells you. And another thing, stop using master to threaten me. When I was following master and being chased, I don't know where you were, but even so, Li Huowang refuses to submit and tries to retort. Senior, brother, your talent for cultivation is indeed not good. You've followed master for so many years, and he still hasn't bothered to teach you the technique for immortality. These words drive Zhengkun mad. He roars, his hands gather flames, and he unleashes a powerful palm strike. He sends Li Huowang flying straight into the cliff wall, the explosion echoing throughout Qingfeng Temple. Another disciple comes out, looks at the motionless Li Huowang and sighs, Xuanyang Shidi, why didn't you listen to advice? If you hadn't taken master's elixir, you would have been dead long ago. He helps Li Huowang up and scolds him. I told you to be more respectful to Zhengkun. Why did you go and provoke him? But Li Huowang retorts, his eyes flashing with determination. So what, can he kill me? If the disciples in the temple continue to die, Qingfeng Temple won't be able to sustain itself anymore. Besides, Du Laoye is still here watching. That statement surprises Xuanyuan. What is that, Du Laoye? Li Huowang is momentarily stunned. He doesn't know about the existence of Du Laoye. That's right, the day Xuanyang's group escaped wasn't on the 1st or the 15th. Moreover, the scabby old man didn't pass down the immortality technique to intersect disciples like Zhengkun. It seems that scabby old man doesn't trust anyone. Such a person teaching disciples thinking of this, he can't help but laugh. Zhuanyuan sees this and asks worriedly, Junior brother, didn't master give you medicine? Why are you starting to go crazy again? But deep inside, Li Huowang feels a quiet joy rising. I finally found a breakthrough. In the following days, taking the opportunity of another conflict with Zhengkun, I revealed the news about Du Laoye to him. Seeing his expression, I knew something would happen later. I always watched him secretly, but Jung-kun just followed the procedures to cultivate. Just when I thought I had misjudged him, that he wasn't as greedy as I imagined a month later on February 15th, today the scabby-headed guy opened the alchemy furnace, and Jung-kun didn't go to the main hall to cultivate as usual. So Li Huo-wang secretly followed him. The door to the scabby-headed guy's residence was open. It seems Jung-kun found someone to help him sneak in and investigate. So suspicious at a time like this, he still chooses to stay outside and guard. And it's him he is, Xuan Yin, the registered disciple. As soon as they came out, they exchanged some words. Then they began to channel some kind of energy, and mystical auras radiated from their bodies. In the blink of an eye, they both disappeared. Li Huo-wang, with doubt in his mind, sighs, "Phew, they're finally gone." The restrictions in the room have probably been broken by Jung-kun's group. Next it's my turn. Thinking is doing, Li Huo-wang immediately enters the room without hesitation. Inside, a foul stench hangs in the air like dead rats. Ignoring the stench, the male lead slowly moves inside his steps, cautious. Suddenly, Li Huo-wang's eyes light up. Then he mutters to himself, "This stone tablet. This must be the heavenly book that mushroom-headed guy was talking about. The characters are so hard to read. Shibupu yin qian bijin deru, wenguang bupu yin yi, miao hao shen lingru, shihu an lejie tuomen." This heavenly book is clearly a scripture, and there are no alchemy methods in it. Why would the mushroom-headed guy rely on it for alchemy, unless suddenly a strange voice rings out, "Are you with the person from just now? Don't move. I just need to ring this bell, and my father will be back immediately." Li Huo-wang turns to look. Following his gaze is the soul of a mischievous little girl trapped in a jar. She laughs triumphantly. But it's not enough to make Li Huo-wang afraid. He laughs, "Ha ha. So that's how it is. All right, what are you shaking for? This is a good chance to let that old man know you don't understand this heavenly book at all, that you've been fooling him all along." Realizing she was caught, she twisted her face and stammered, You. "How did you find out?" He thought to himself, "I guessed right. The person who helped that mushroom-headed old guy interpret the heavenly book is indeed her. But you can't blame me. I don't understand that darn heavenly book at all, but father forced me to read it to him." The main character added, "Aren't you afraid he'll find out?" She scoffed. "Anyway, my father is illiterate, whatever I say goes. So the prescription that uses humans for alchemy was also you tricking him." "That's right. I only remembered those things, so I treated them as what was written in the book and told my father, 'Don't worry. Eating it won't kill anyone. I wouldn't want my father to eat it and have something happen. I'm just afraid that if my father finds out I'm useless, he won't need me anymore. Look at me. I have no arms or legs." Before she could finish, Li Huo-wang reached out and grabbed the jar. He immediately smashed it hard on the ground, shattering it into pieces as red blood splattered out. She screamed in pain, her face twisting in agony. "It hurts. It hurts so much." Li Huo-wang, boiling with anger, shouted, "This prescription of yours might not kill anyone when eaten. But it's precisely because of this prescription that the mushroom-headed old guy has been eating people all along." The scene shifts to the next morning at Lao Tojie's main hall, where many medicine guides and senior brothers were already present. The old man's furious voice echoed, Who was it?" A shout filled with anger accompanied by hasty footsteps approached. Even Li Huo-wang could feel the intense oppressive aura emanating from the old man, and he was the one who understood exactly why the old man was so furious. The main character thought he's here. In the old man's hand was a gory, bloody head, the tragic eyes-open death of his pet. He continued to shout in a menacing voice, "Who was it who took the opportunity while this Taoist master was refining pills to sneak into my room?" But his question was met only with silence. No one dared to utter a single word. Seeing this, the old man gritted his teeth and said, "So none of you will speak right. Then this Taoist master will ask you one by one." After speaking, he walked up to each person to begin his interrogation, his figure as blurry as a ghost in the night. Chang Ming Chang Ren. "What were you two doing while I was refining pills?" Faced with the interrogation, the pale-faced disciple stammered to explain, "Master, the two of us were guarding the gate of Qingfengguan, as you instructed. Chang Ren and I didn't dare to slack off for a single moment." Hearing his disciple's words, although a bit skeptical, the old man temporarily believed him. He immediately moved to another person to question, "So Xuanyuan, what about you?" It seemed wherever the old man went, everyone would tremble uncontrollably. Xuan Yuan stammered, "Master, as for me," he used his talent for lying to spout a long list of excuses. Standing nearby, Li Huowang also sensed that he was likely the next one. But no one noticed that among the medicine guides gathered there, one was shaking like a leaf. It seemed he was hatching some dirty plot in his mind, but whether he could keep his mouth shut remained a big question mark. He was seen trembling in fear, his facial muscles tensed to the extreme. And finally the inevitable happened. Lao To-ge approached Li Huowang's position and asked Huyen Duong, "It's your turn. Where did you go today, after delivering the medicine guide?" At this moment, he revealed a distorted and grotesque face, his expression deformed to a horrifying degree. Seeing that expression, Duong Tan also felt a bit scared, sweating profusely like rain. The main character gulped, calmed his thoughts, and spoke up. This disciple was in the medicine room preparing herbs for Master's next use. But in his mind, he thought, with this oppressive feeling, no wonder Chang Ming and Xuan Yuan were sweating so much, let alone me. After receiving Xuan Yuan's answer, the old man turned to the people behind and asked again, "Did you people really see Huyen Duong in the medicine room?" However, his question was met only with silence. No one dared to make a sound or move. The old man scanned the crowd and emphasized, "Think carefully before you speak. If anyone can help me find this person, this Taoist master will not only send them home, but also give them some travel money." Hearing this, Bai Ling Miao mustered all her courage and spoke up, "Master." At that time, Senior Brother Li was indeed with everyone. I can vouch for Senior Brother Li. But the fact that Bai Ling Miao suddenly spoke up made the old man feel that something was amiss. He turned back and questioned, "You vouch for him. Then what about the others?" Suddenly from the crowd someone raised his hand and said, "Oh, Immortal One, I'll tell you about this Huyen Duong guy. Today he didn't go to the medicine room even once." His words struck Li Huowang and Bai Ling Miao like a thunderbolt. At that moment, all attention turned to him. It's true that one shouldn't fear a strong enemy but a stupid teammate, or more accurately being sold out. "Now you're dead meat, oh Li Huowang. I'll take you to be sold for salt immediately." But how could the main character die so quickly? After confessing, he chuckled and said, "Immortal Grandpa, I've helped you find the person. Can you send me home now?" However, in contrast to his premature joy, the old man was filled with anger. He crushed the head in his hand in a fit of rage and shouted, "Nonsense. This morning's medicine guide was brought by Huyen Duong himself. If he didn't go to the medicine room, where did he get the medicine guide from? Are you looking to die?" His joy was extinguished in an instant, hope flickered and died. His emotions plummeted from a mountain peak straight into a deep abyss. His legs went weak, and he knelt, bowing his head like he was chopping wood. "Immortal, Grandpa, I was wrong. I was blinded by greed. That's why I lied. I know I was wrong. Please spare my life. Immortal Grandpa." However, the old man's attention was now focused on another target, and he himself was unaware of the impending disaster, smirking foolishly. Just a second later, red blood splattered out like rain. A few seconds ago he was laughing, and now he's been sent to his grave. While he was still confused about what was happening, Lao To-ge furiously shouted, "Just now when Huyen Duong was falsely accused, did you laugh?" The old man's rage erupted like a fire that burned away all reason. With bloodshot eyes, he unleashed a torrent of curses at the other person. What, say something? Does him being falsely accused make you that happy? "Huyen Am, you speak." While shouting, the old man leaned close to Huyen Am's face, making him tremble in fear. He was so scared, he peed blood and fell backward, stammering, "Ma, master, it wasn't me, not me." In a desperate act, he pointed at Jung Kun and said, "It's Jung Kun, senior brother. Jung Kun forced me to do it." Hearing his name called, Jung Kun's face turned deathly pale, drained of all blood. "Oh shoot, now there's no escape." Hearing this, Lao To-ge glared at Jung Kun with his blood-red eyes. Over here, he was so scared, he scrambled desperately to find a way out. Lao To-ge was utterly furious at being betrayed by his own close disciple. He gritted his teeth. "I can't believe it's you. I should have thought of you earlier. Only you could undo the restrictions in my room. But do you think I would feel at ease letting you come and go from my room freely?" With that, he took out a coin, held it in his hand, and raised it high. Without a moment's delay, the old man tossed the coin high into the air. Then, as it fell to the ground, he raised his foot, intending to stomp the coin flat. Over here, the coin-shaped seal on Jungkoon's forehead lit up, paralyzing him on the spot. Only when the old man's foot twisted firmly into the ground was the coin instantly crushed into many fragments. Jungkoon's body reacted simultaneously, his limbs being torn apart into gruesome pieces. Lao Toge's voice echoed, "You fool. You don't know your own limits." Only in his final moments did Jungkoon realize the profound ruthlessness of Lao Toge, and he incessantly admitted his fault. "Master, I was wrong. Master, I was wrong. Back when the High Master of Zhengde sect was hunting us, it was my 2 junior brothers who traded their lives for our survival," Lao Toge said coldly. "My dear disciple, this Taoist master knows everything you're thinking." Jungkoon then screamed in despair, "Master, I'm a cripple now, please spare me this time." But life isn't that rosy. Mistakes, corrections, and giving birth are not so easily overlooked. Lao Toge walked over, placed his foot on Jungkoon's head, and said menacingly, "You and your 2 junior brothers are all ungrateful wolves who would never submit." Finishing his sentence, he slammed his heel down, crushing Jungkoon's head, and blood splattered everywhere. After Jungkoon's death, Lao Toge trusted Li Huowang even more. Standing before the spirits of the gods, the old man told him to give Li Huowang 3 incense sticks and instructed him to kowtow 9 times. The main character obediently followed. After finishing the 9 kowtows, Li Huowang looked up and said, "Master, I'm done." Lao Toge continued, "Now that you've offered incense to the ancestors starting today, you are the formal disciple of this Taoist master." As soon as he finished speaking, the crowd below shouted in unison, "Congratulations! Master, congratulations! Senior brother." Guhua looked less than pleased, but had no other choice. As for Bai Ling, she grew even more worried and anxious. Over here, the old man continued, "All right, Huyan Duong, follow me. The rest of you, dismiss." Li Huowang was secretly delighted. This moment has finally come. Don't worry, Lao Toge, I will help you attain the Tao and become an immortal. A while later, the old man led Li Huowang to his study, which housed the top-secret heavenly book that few could access. Standing before the book, the old man spoke, "I remember you're literate, right, Huyan Duong?" The main character calmly replied, "Yes, master." The old man raised his hand, condensing a dark aura that radiated outwards, and said loudly, "Good, it's even better that you know." Finishing his words, he began to mumble something. The ropes binding the heavenly book immediately loosened. Then they wrapped around his hand. Now the characters on the heavenly book were clearly visible. He said excitedly, "So come here and see if you can understand the words on this heavenly book." Li Huowang stepped closer to the heavenly book and replied, "Yes, master." While observing, the main character thought to himself, the previous method for becoming an immortal was all made up by that Bin Hoa. If I can't read it, will I be exposed? If that's the case, I'd rather just deny everything. After reading, the main character spoke up, "Yes, this disciple does understand." The old man impatiently urged, "What are you mumbling about? Whatever you've figured out, say it quickly." Li Huowang rubbed his head and replied, "Master, why doesn't this heavenly book have the blood-moistening prescription you taught me last time?" Hearing this, the old man was stunned and exclaimed, "What the hell, what did you say?" The main character rested his chin on his hand, deep in thought, and continued, "Oh, on the heavenly book is the first level of the internal energy technique. The book says it must be done at the exact time when the old year hasn't passed and the new year hasn't arrived, using an external elixir in conjunction with cultivation. Only then can one infuse the heavenly Tao into the spiritual energy absorbed from the body in the mortal world to attain the Tao and become an immortal." Hearing this for the first time, the old man was somewhat taken aback and replied, "The technique also needs to be coordinated with external elixirs." Li Huowang continued to bullshit. "That's right. There are several types of external elixirs. Let me see, it requires 2 liang of cinnabar, 1 liang of bai qianzi, and 1 liang 2 of tai shuang. There's also a certain amount of yu lao jia. Refine them. Master, what kind of herb is this, yu lao jia?" The main character naively wondered. Hearing this, the old man seemed to have an epiphany and said, No wonder Bin Dao said this heavenly book would have changes that are impossible to deal with. No wonder it's been so long, and this Taoist master still hasn't become an immortal. Daring to trick me, a Taoist master, you deserve to die." Angrily, he stomped on the heavenly book that he had always treated as delicately as an egg, as if holding a flower. Then he did a 180, slowly calming down and looking at Li Huowang, he said, "My good boy, that little girl could trick me, but surely you wouldn't want to trick me, too." The main character trembled and replied, "Master, this is the way to become an immortal. How could I deceive you? I also want to become an immortal." With that, the old man said nothing more, just stared strangely at Li Huowang. Meanwhile, the young man could only stand still, letting the old man admire his handsome features. After admiring for a while, the old man spoke with satisfaction. "Good, good. Tell me the first level. First, wait until we master and disciple have mastered it, then we will refine the external elixir. This time, we master and disciple will become immortals together." So the first step of luring Lao Wu to obey him obediently was a complete success. And after a while of bluffing, as if it were real, creating a whole internal-external elixir circulation technique on his own, he sighed in relief, turned to leave, and thought to himself, "Good thing I've read quite a few novels. Otherwise, the technique I made up today would have surely been seen through by that mushroom-headed guy." He picked up a lantern from the tunnel and left delighted that his plan was proceeding smoothly. His goal would soon be within reach. After holding back for so long, something good finally happened. When he reached the medicine room, he found that the others were indeed not asleep. They were still gathered there, waiting for his return. Biling Miao, holding a bright torch, smiled and exclaimed, "Senior Brother Li." In their eyes there was a strange excitement. It seemed everyone understood that today's events would bring a new beginning, a new hope for them. Although slightly surprised, he quickly regained his composure, took a deep breath, and spoke reassuringly. "Rest assured, now that I've returned safely, the promise to help you escape still stands. Of course, it won't be long before you can all go home." As soon as Li Huowang said these words, almost everyone was moved to tears. Their long-held dream of returning home finally had a glimmer of hope. Suddenly, without anyone saying a word, they all knelt down together in gratitude. One person emotionally said, "Senior Brother Li, you are our savior. You are our living bodhisattva." The main character bowed in return. "What are you all doing today at the main hall? If it weren't for everyone's help, I would have been finished. So should I be the one kneeling and kowtowing to thank you?" Looking at the scene before him, everyone's face was beaming with joy, happiness, clearly written on their faces. A warm feeling surged in Li Huowang's heart. Who would have thought that in this strange world I could become comrades with people who have such bizarre appearances? Thinking this, he spoke up again. "Everyone, I have something I need your help with. This matter is related to whether we can successfully escape from Qingfeng Guan or not." Biling Miao's eyes widened with confusion and worry as she asked, "What is it? Senior Brother Li? Are you all right? Did the old man really not give you a hard time?" Hearing this, Li Huowang recalled Lao Ge and his wish to become an immortal. He couldn't help but smirk and chuckle. "Ha ha. He currently wants me to translate the contents of the heavenly book for him, so what could possibly happen to me? Right now, even if I told him to eat shit, he'd have to do it. Ha ha." Then he asked seriously, "Do you all know any other legends or stories? Like the legend of Yu Lao Jia?" Hearing this, Biling Miao's eyes widened as she exclaimed, "Yes, besides Yu Lao Jia. My grandpa also told me about another demonic thing. It's called Da Lao Lao." The main character, not too surprised, calmly replied, "This so-called Da Lao Lao doesn't seem to be anything special." Biling Miao immediately put a finger to her lips, signaling, "Shh, shh, Senior Brother Li. Lower your voice, be careful. Da Lao Lao might hear you. This thing is very evil. First of all, its appearance is different in everyone's eyes. Some say it looks like a long-eared goblin, while others say it looks exactly like a deceased old man. Moreover, if you frequently mention Da Lao Lao..." At this point, she suddenly hesitated as if she was afraid of something. This made Li Huowang even more curious, and he asked, "Then what?" Biling Miao still stammered, "Da Lao Lao will come for you, and if it finds you, you will also become a Da Lao Lao." So, Senior Brother Li, is this information about Da Lao Lao useful? After hearing this, Li Huowang fell silent, took a long deep breath and thought, "Just being near Da Lao Lao for a while will turn you into it. This world is so bizarre with all sorts of strange things. Thinking this, he spoke up. All right, the information about Dalao Lao is very valuable. He turned to the others and asked anything else. Immediately hands shot up. Senior brother, I know something. Another person, I know something too. Me too. Gaohua scratched his head, chuckled and said, Senior brother, I once heard about someone who skins children. He wears their skin and trains them like dogs, then uses these human-speaking dogs to perform tricks on the street. They're all idiots, so the information isn't necessarily accurate. After listening, he casually replied, I don't need these horror stories. I want strange things like you, Laojia. As soon as he finished a medicine guide from Qingfengguan named Zhao Wu spoke up. Senior brother, I know about a fish called gongbangu. I've heard my grandparents say that gongbanu not only has a strange shape, but also only appears during major floods. The main character thought to himself, sounds like a type of bizarre creature. He spoke up. All right. Gongbangu counts as one. Another hand went up. He was a big guy, simple-minded but well-built. People here called him the fool. He said, Senior brother, I know too, I also know something. Li Huo sighed, placed a hand on the man, and turned towards the door. Listening to a fool is worse than just figuring it out myself. He forced a smile and said, All right, that's enough for now, I'm leaving. You all just wait quietly for my news. He had just opened his mouth, words not yet spoken, when he was cut off, feeling extremely disappointed, as if a bucket of cold water had been dumped on him. No one listened. No one cared. It turned out his opinion never had any value. In reality, few people place their trust in a fool, just as no one would entrust a boat to someone who has never learned to row. Early the next morning, Li Huo was summoned to Lao Toga's residence. You mentioned the internal-external elixir miner heavenly circulation technique. I've practiced it almost perfectly. Now tell me the method for consuming the elixir that coordinates with the technique. Li Huo approached the heavenly book and replied, Take 2 hearts from the Dalao Lao and refine their essence. He asked, Master, what is a Dalao Lao? The old man replied, Don't worry about it, just keep reading to me. Next is a gongba ngu fish. Take its gills and soak them with 2 liang of arsenic. Lao Toge listened carefully. Somewhat surprised and mumbled, Arsenic is inherently cold. It must be neutralized with a hot, dry creature like the gongba ngu. Truly marvelous. Furthermore, the heavenly book uses the Dalao Lao to refine pills. Why didn't I think of that before? It can't be wrong if humans can be refined into pills. Why can't these dark, evil things? Finishing his words, he immediately got to work. A strange yellow light emanated from his hand. Instantly, a small bell appeared. It must be said, if this bell were in a hopping vampire movie, it would be used to control the hopping vampires. Before he could even process what the heck was happening, the old man then began to shake it vigorously, and an ear-piercing bell sound instantly rang out. Li Huo immediately felt a splitting headache. He instinctively covered his ears, struggling frantically. It hurts so much. What's happening? Could it be that my plan has been discovered by the old man again? Where did it go wrong? That ringing sound not only affected his hearing, but also Li Huo's vision. Everything around him began to twist and deform. The entire world seemed to shake violently, as if in an earthquake. What the hell is this now? From the old man's direction, a dark aura was gathering. The figure of a bizarre demon appeared, circling around the old man. It bared its teeth in a wicked grin. After a while, the bell stopped ringing, and Li Huo was able to regain his senses. He pondered deeply. These 2 things were summoned by the bell from the beginning. Wait, what the hell is he doing? What caught his eye was the sight of Lao To, Go bending down, grabbing a handful of mud from the ground, and stuffing it into his mouth. He then chewed it greedily, as if it were delicious. Li Huo was even more confused. Is he eating mud from the ground? At the same time, he turned towards the 2 wide mouths and babbled something. The conversation happened quickly in the old man's and their own strange language, so Li Huo couldn't understand it at all. They stood there nodding for a while, then quickly vanished into thin air, and the space immediately returned to normal. The old man spoke proudly. Although the things in the heavenly book are hard to find, that's no challenge for your master. As long as this master knows where something is, I can steal it all. Hearing this, Li Huo was startled and exclaimed, Steal. He thought to himself, Could those two things from before really help find ingredients for alchemy? The old man calmly replied, "Of course you have to steal. If you don't steal, do you think people will just give it to you for no reason? The thing I just summoned with the bell is Yu Lao Jia. This Yu Lao Jia is incredibly useful. Finding things is just one of its abilities. In the beginning, to get this bell, this old Taoist spent a lot of effort," the old man slowly recounted. "When I was 5, a bigger beggar snatched the stale, steamed bun from my hand. At that moment, I understood a principle. If I don't have what others have, what should I do?" The word steal flashed in my mind. When I was young, I stole wives, horses, and silver. Later, I stole cultivation techniques, magic artifacts, and even disciples. Even Qing Feng Guan was stolen by me, the old man boasted proudly. "Look at that clay ancestor statue, does it say anything?" "So, child, when adults speak, you must listen. This Taoist master considers you family. That's why I'm telling you this. This is just to teach you and make you wiser." Li Huowang wondered, "But master, what if we can't win the robbery?" The old man said nothing more, just frowned and muttered to himself. Hopeless, truly hopeless. Why does that literate head of yours keep bringing that up? If you can't win the robbery, don't you know how to find a way to rob? The old man was furious and slapped Li Huowang's face to vent his anger. Then he menacingly emphasized each word. If one person can't win the robbery, then 2 people join forces. If joining forces still doesn't work, then use poison, and if poison doesn't work, use dirty tricks. Faced with the old man's profound logic, Li Huowang was at a loss for words. He forced a smile, regained his composure, and praised, "It's still, master, sees through the world. They say I'm illiterate. They say I lack enlightenment. They even call me a heretic, saying I have no Tao heart, but wait until I become an immortal. I'll peel their eyelids back and let them see clearly who is the one without enlightenment now. Who is the one without a Tao heart?" As he spoke, he gritted his teeth, his ugly face filled with malevolence. Although Li Huowang didn't know who the old man was talking about, one thing was certain. The grudge between them was definitely very deep. After that, Li Huowang and the scabby-headed guy lived together, sticking to each other like wet on a butt. It was also during this time that I continuously perfected the heavenly book, making the method for becoming an immortal even more reliable. The way of heaven reduces the surplus to supplement the deficient. The way of man reduces the deficient to offer to the surplus. Ancient immortals transcended their mortal forms and transformed into gods through extreme stillness and emptiness, achieving selflessness. The white jade capital in the heavens, the 12 towers and 5 cities, where immortals touch my crown, tying my hair and bestowing longevity. Indulging in worldly pleasures against the Tao, disorderly love, the 96 holy sovereigns' fame, is like a floating cloud. The 9 heavens' mysterious killing. Qi transforms into divine thunder, its heavenly might resplendent, led by the purple sword. The mysterious sect of heaven and earth with myriad energies as its root, through myriad eons of great cultivation, one attains divine powers. However, Lao Togo was not idle either. Before long, he found everything Li Huowang had mentioned. After a while of mumbling and cultivating, Li Huowang slowly opened his eyes and said, "Master, shall we open the furnace now?" However, just when Li Huowang thought Lao Togo couldn't wait and would immediately open the furnace to refine pills, the old man said something that completely caught him off guard. The old man calmly said there was no rush, as the Lunar New Year was still about half a month away. "First, let's go have our year-end feast." True to his word, while Li Huowang was still trying to figure out what was happening, the old man had already organized a grand year-end feast. Li Huowang still felt bewildered inside, finding himself having a year-end feast in such a bizarre place. The fragrant aroma of food wafted around him, but he just sat there lost in his own thoughts. The old man's voice echoed in his ears. "Why aren't you setting out bowls and chopsticks for the deceased disciples? Bring them all out for me. Welcome them home for the New Year's feast." Quickly, the deceased disciples all had their bowls and chopsticks. The table was now covered with them. Then he slowly recounted. "Back then, on one New Year's Eve, I smelled the scent of food from someone else's house. When I got closer, the daughter of the house saw how handsome I was and begged her father to let me in for a meal. When I stepped inside, she immediately brought out a plate of steaming hot dumplings, blowing on them as she ate. Only then did I learn what dumplings were like. I still remember that their family also made them with pork crackling and chive filling like this. Oh my God, it's so fragrant, you guys, hurry up and eat. As he spoke, he popped a dumpling into his mouth, the filling splattering all over his mouth, looking quite gross. Quickly, the other disciples also began to eat heartily. Only Li Huowang ate with a lump in his throat, thinking to himself, yes, it really is fragrant. This is the new year. Images from his memory flooded back one after another. It wasn't just the dumplings. It was about being together with family. How could these memories be fake? Suddenly, Li Huowang was overcome with homesickness, missing his loved ones. He couldn't hold back his tears and burst out crying. Lao Toge also quickly noticed Li Huowang's unusual emotions and stood up, moving closer. He reached out and touched Li Huowang's shoulder comfortingly. Child, slow down when you're eating and crying. It's easy to choke. Li Huowang still couldn't believe it. Am I really crying? Just then, the old man's voice sounded again. He took out some red envelopes from his clothes and said cheerfully, Here, here, here. If you can't eat, don't try to eat, like Huyan Duong. These envelopes are for you. Remember to put them under your pillows. As soon as they received the red envelopes, the dejected disciples immediately cheered up and shouted in unison, Thank you, Master. The old man glanced back and said, What thank you? It should be Happy New Year. The disciple Shan Yuan shyly scratched his head, his mouth still full of dumpling, and stammered, Ma Master, Happy New Year. Lao Toge heard this and laughed happily, Good, Happy New Year to everyone. He didn't even forget to give red envelopes to the disciples who had passed away. He gently placed the envelopes next to their bowls and chopsticks, muttering, And for my deceased disciples, you get them too, all of you. Come back and receive the incense and flowers. Then he turned to Li Huowang and said, Child, you don't need a red envelope, do you? Master and disciple, we will become immortals together, and from now on, we will live as long as heaven and earth. As he spoke, he broke into a perverted and bizarre smile, revealing his crooked, gapped teeth, a beauty that transcends continents, nations, space, and time. In response to the old man's excitement, Li Huowang gave a faint smile, his face full of cunning. All right, Master, but who knows what kind of cultivation method Li Huowang will come up with. Next, money isn't always everything, because in this world there's also gold and diamonds. After that, the master and disciple continued to refine pills as usual. Using Li Huowang's method, the old man finally succeeded in refining a radiant spirit pill. Before Li Huowang's eyes were two fist-sized, shiny red metal pills, two wriggling fleshy pills that seemed alive, and two rotten, blindingly dark black pills. The main character thought this alchemy session went as smoothly as always, but that mushroom head is naturally suspicious. The reason he wants me to become an immortal with him is because he's afraid the prescription I gave him is fake, right? But I'm not afraid. The young man gave a sinister smile, satisfied with the method he had invented himself. I threw in everything I could think of. With so many ingredients thrown in, eating this will definitely be fatal. Not even a shred of life will remain. In the middle of the master and disciple was an incense bowl with 3 sticks burning, emitting a fragrant smoke. Li Huowang sat cross-legged, perfectly calm. Suddenly, the old man's voice rang out. My good disciple, you eat first. This master will protect you. Li Huowang calmly replied, Thank you, master. But in his heart he smiled and thought, Ha, you old scabby head, so old and still fooled by me. Just take your dream of becoming an immortal and go die with me. Thinking of the old man, Li Huowang didn't care about his own life at all. To him, life and death had long been taken lightly. He didn't belong here in the first place. Without any hesitation, the main character popped the spirit pill into his mouth and swallowed it in one gulp. On the other side, the old man was still squinting, focusing on Li Huowang's reaction. Taking advantage of the thick incense smoke, Li Huowang then transformed into a super actor. The young man became light and airy, floating joyfully in the smoky, mystical atmosphere. He thought to himself, so much innate spiritual energy. This is heaven helping me. His eyes shone brightly, gleaming with a proud look of victory. The corners of his lips curved up into a triumphant smile, a smile not just on his lips, but etched into every feature of his face. A loud laugh burst out, echoing and lingering, as if savoring every second, every minute. He spread his arms wide, in uncontrollable excitement, murmuring, So that's how it is. I've understood, I've figured it out. I'm about to become an immortal. At this moment, Dan Yangzi, sitting opposite him, was filled with a mix of curiosity and suspicion, but he still picked up another spirit pill and muttered to himself, "Become an immortal. This Taoist master also wants to become an immortal." Finishing his words, without a moment's hesitation, he quickly popped the spirit pill into his mouth. The incense smoke still billowed around, enveloping the entire space, envisioning the impending scene of a celestial paradise. But hell no, ugh, oh my god. Suddenly, Li Huowang writhed, clutching his stomach and spitting out a large mouthful of blood. Although his stomach was in such agony that he was writhing on the ground, a triumphant smile still played on his lips. "Ha ha, still want to practice, you old scabby head." Then the young man boasted enthusiastically, "I copied that technique from a Xiangxia novel. You can't become an immortal. You can only become a demon." On the opposite side, it seemed the old man was also writhing from the side effects of the bizarre spirit pill. Li Huowang slowly stood up and walked over. In his hand, he held another red pill. With a trembling hand, Li Huowang managed to put the spirit pill into his mouth. Immediately after, the blue veins on his entire body bulged, and he felt filled with power. At this moment, Li Huowang seemed to have his power boosted to the absolute maximum. With blazing red eyes, he raised his blood-soaked hand and said, "Are you deaf? I'm talking to you." Then he landed a powerful palm strike on Dan Yangzi, causing his face to cave in. Blood spurted from his mouth teeth and lips jumbled, and the mark of Li Huowang's hand was still imprinted on his cheek. The old man muttered to himself, "You these things! It's the inner demon! He's gone into a key deviation." Finishing his words, the old man's eyes flew open. He unleashed a burst of power that instantly sent Li Huowang flying dozens of meters away, shouting angrily, "Get lost! Don't you dare stop this Taoist master from becoming an immortal. I'm about to become a god." After that blow, Li Huowang lay flat on the ground, helpless and unable to move his body, becoming limp and weak. On the other side, the old man seemed to have gone mad. His eyes were wide open, glistening, as if about to shoot out sparks. His pupils darted around excitedly, and the corners of his mouth twitched, before breaking into a distorted, simultaneously wicked and naive smile. He burst out laughing and then shouted loudly, "The ancestors are coming to get me." Seeing this, the main character thought, "The old man's gone crazy. He's been driven mad by his own obsession with becoming an immortal. My stomach really hurts. I regret this so much. If I had known, I would have brought a knife to cut his damn throat." He thought that, but in reality, Li Huowang was still being tormented by agonizing stomach pain. He gradually drifted into a daze, and the scene of a hospital flashed before his eyes. Once again, Li Huowang saw Yang Na's worried face. She kept calling, "Huowang, Huowang, Li Huowang." He vaguely reached out for the girl, his lips uttering, "Nana, did you come to get me? Even if it's just a hallucination, it's not so bad." In a flash, Yang Na's face gradually blurred and dissolved, replaced by the faint image of the doctor who had once treated him. He said, "Bed number 14. Consciousness is fading. Preliminary diagnosis is food poisoning. Quick, get the electric suction device for a stomach pump." Li Huowang lay there exhausted, but he still didn't forget to curse. "What the hell? A goddamn stomach pump. This is a mental hospital. Where would you get a stomach pump? Can you, illusions, be a little more logical?" After saying this, Li Huowang's consciousness lost all sense of his surroundings. All around him was now the color of red blood. But right now he felt so comfortable because his stomach finally stopped hurting. He felt his body gradually being submerged. Faintly, he heard Yang Na's voice. "Huowang. Li Huowang, hang in there, you promised me." Suddenly, his eyes flew open, and he immediately started vomiting violently, throwing up everything from his stomach, bile, and all. A grotesque mixture of black water, some deformed hair and flesh, and jumbled pieces of dumplings and entrails were all directly vomited out by Li Huowang. In his mind, he was even more confused. He thought he had been reunited with his ancestors, but now he was still alive and kicking. "I'm still alive. How can this be? Wait a minute. If I'm still alive, then wouldn't Dan Yangzi also?" Thinking of that, Li Huowang instantly broke out in a cold sweat. He instinctively turned his head to look back. It's unknown what the young man saw, but as soon as he looked, he cursed damn fate. Lao Toge had transformed into a monstrous creature with a horrifying shape, its body covered in many tentacles, its eyes and mouth distorted. The surrounding atmosphere became terrifyingly eerie, accompanied by chilling sounds. The three flowers gather at the peak, ascending to immortality. So that's how it is. Indeed, this old master has become an immortal. I've realized it. I've realized it. I've realized it. I've realized it. Then, with a series of booms followed by a sky-shaking explosion, the deformed body of Lao Toge instantly blew up, splattering blood and flesh all over the alchemy room. The entire Qingfengguan inside the alchemy room became gruesome. Li Huowang stood there, his whole body covered in his master's blood. He stared at the scene, stunned, clearly unable to react or understand what the hell was happening. He thought to himself, are these 3 pills really that powerful? The pills that Dan Yangzi and I refined, are they elixirs or explosives? The explosion quickly subsided around the room, now only fragments of Lao Toge's flesh and the stench of blood remained. Perhaps after that shocking explosion, his body had been completely shattered and scattered everywhere. On the ground, only tattered pieces of flesh were left. After regaining his composure, Li Huowang let out a faint, contemptuous laugh. Humph, 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 humph. He just sat there silently by himself. After a long while, the pieces of flesh remained motionless. Even Lao Toge's bronze bell was dented from the shockwave. Only then did Li Huowang breathe a sigh of relief. This time, Lao Toge is definitely dead for good. Then he looked at himself and wondered again, but why am I not dead yet? At that moment, he didn't know where to go or what to do next. Li Huowang had thought that after getting his revenge, he would be very happy. But when the moment truly came, he found himself falling into a daze. For the past few days, all of his plans had revolved around killing Dan Yangzi. He had never even considered that he would continue to live. Now that Dan Yangzi is dead and Bai Ling Miao is safe, he has fulfilled all his promises. What will he do next? Suddenly, the sound of the door bursting open pulled Li Huowang out of his thoughts. The old man's 2 disciples, Chang Ren and Chang Ming, entered cautiously, with long swords raised, shouting, "Hey, what kind of demon are you? Tell us quickly, where is our master Li Huo?" Wang pointed to the side and said in a low voice, "Your master is that thing at your feet. Dear senior brothers, I am Huyan Duong." These words made them instinctively look down and lift their feet. Some internal organs appeared before them, and in an instant their pupils shrank to the size of a pinprick. As if not believing their eyes, they screamed frantically, You're lying! How the hell could Master die, seeing their disbelief?" Li Huowang immediately picked up a piece of the old man's facial skin, held it up to them excitedly, and said, "Look, he's really dead. Lao Toge killed people like flies his whole life. He deserved to die, but I didn't kill him for that reason. It was a personal grudge." Hearing this, Chang Ming and Chang Ren glanced at each other, and without another word, they quickly sheathed their swords, turned, and dashed towards the door. "Hey, listen to what I have to say before you go." Li Huowang reluctantly shouted in alarm towards them. Immediately after, Li Huowang vigorously rang the bell and went around shouting, while his other hand held up Lao Toge's facial skin. "Everyone look, the mushroom head is dead. You can all go home now." Following the shouts, many medicine guides were quickly attracted and gathered. Some were happy to hear the old man was dead. Others were bewildered, not daring to believe their eyes, muttering, "That piece of facial skin really belongs to Lao Toge. No mistake, it's him. Quick, let's follow, we can finally go home." Immediately after, the whole group quickly ran after Li Huowang, their joy impossible to hide. In front of them was the cave entrance, accompanied by the thunderous footsteps following Li Huowang. His voice rang out continuously. "Everyone get out quickly. Dan Yangzi is dead. You can go home and celebrate the new year now." Everyone's heart was fluttering with anticipation to return home. There's nothing happier than finally being able to return to the most familiar place. Lao Toge is dead. He's really dead. "Where are you from, senior brothers? Let's go together in a bit." Bai Ling Miao's voice rang out, "We can finally go home. Let's go home, senior brother Li." But suddenly, as if sensing something unusual, Li Huowang abruptly stopped. He looked up and around, thinking, "What's that sound?" Immediately after, the group walked cautiously, creeping closer to where the sound was coming from. What caught his eye were Lao Toge's 3 disciples in a standoff, each holding a weapon. The atmosphere was extremely tense, like drawn bows and unsheathed swords. As soon as Xuanyuan saw Li Huowang, he called out cheerfully, "Junior brother Huyan Duong, come here quickly. Let's kill these two accomplices of Dan Yangzi and share the heavenly book together." On one side, Chang Ming shouted, "If you don't want to die, get out of here. Master only taught you the way of alchemy. In this situation, do you think you can deal with two sword cultivators like us?" Hearing this, Li Huowang finally understood the issue they had been fighting over. He sighed softly and thought, so it's because of the heavenly book. Reluctantly, he spoke up to explain. "But that's not a heavenly book for becoming an immortal. It's just an ancient scripture. What I said before was all made up to trick Lao To. Gay don't believe his ghost stories too much. That guy makes things up. What nonsense about an old man personally sending someone off. It's probably just from some place where people were murdered and robbed. It would be better for you three senior brothers to come with us." Hearing this, they turned to look at Li Huowang with murderous eyes. Their bloodshot eyes gleamed with a terrifying madness. It was as if they were about to tear everything in front of them to shreds. "Junior brother Huyan Duong, if you're not interested in the heavenly book, then get lost." After hearing this, Li Huowang didn't hesitate at all and immediately took off. "All right, then we'll go first. You three senior brothers can continue. We'll meet again later. Everyone who wants to go home, follow me closely. Don't be curious and look inside. The swords of those three senior brothers have no eyes." The next morning, the brilliant light of the early morning flooded the cave entrance, illuminating radiant faces. The medicine guides excitedly ran out of the cave, their eyes shining with extreme joy. They skipped and jumped like children who had just escaped a nightmare, breathing in the fresh air they had been deprived of for so long. Laughter echoed through the mountains and forests, mingling with the cheerful chirping of birds like a symphony welcoming freedom. "We're out. Going home. I want to go home." Only he was not so cheerful. While everyone around was chaotically running away, he stood there looking up at the sky, thinking to himself, "It's already this bright. Did Lao To gay, and I stay in the alchemy furnace all night." Suddenly Bai Ling Miao approached and said cheerfully, "Senior brother Li, let's go too." Li Huowang quickly grabbed her hand and said, "Wait, these are all the last letters and addresses left by the deceased medicine guides. After we get out, remember to find a delivery service to send them to their families." Amidst the rushing crowd heading out, he still stood there. A vague anxiety filled his heart, causing Bai Ling Miao's steps to slow down as she asked in confusion, "Li senior brother, Li, aren't you going home?" He smiled faintly and thought home. "But I don't have a home anymore, where else can I go?" With that thought, he said nothing more and silently walked inside, leaving Bai Ling Miao standing there, bewildered. Just a moment later, Li Huowang was inside the dark cave. At this time, Qing Feng Guan was very quiet. His only companion was the sound of his own footsteps. Li Huowang once again returned to his own living quarters. He closed the door, placed the oil lamp nearby, not even bothering to wipe the blood from his body and face. He slowly lay down on the stone bed, contemplating life. "Come to think of it, today is the first of the month. I still haven't had to eat that disgusting black tai sui this month. It seems the effect of suppressing hallucinations is about to wear off, huh? Even if it's fake. Let me see Nana one more time, just once." Then he unconsciously let his body sink into illusion. His body swayed as if being pulled from reality by an invisible force. Everything around him blurred, smudging like a melting painting. The air grew thick surrounding him, and each breath became heavy. Li Huowang tried to reach out, but only touched the cold emptiness. His body felt like it was drifting in another dimension. Suddenly, at that moment, Li Huowang vaguely heard someone's voice calling him, "Senior brother." Li Huowang. In his daze, he saw Bai Ling Miao reaching out and calling, "Senior brother Li, let's go together." But the main character just casually replied, "No need. This place is very good. I'm used to being here." Suddenly, the door opened and Guwa stepped in and said, "About that, if senior brother Li wants to stay here, how about we go on ahead?" Hearing this, Bai Ling Miao immediately turned and shouted, "What the hell?" "Shut up." Gaowa was now speechless and didn't dare to argue further. Around him, some medicine guides still hadn't left. It seemed they couldn't bear to leave Li Huowang alone either. Over here, Bai Ling Miao, worried and anxious, choked up and continued, "Senior brother, if you can't go home, you can come to my house." "My house? My house is very big. Besides, the Dongshuang room is also empty. Senior brother, you're not left with nothing. Looking at that face in Li Huowang's eyes, it transformed into Yang Na sitting there saying, Li Huowang, you still have me. You can't give up on yourself, do you hear me? The scene of the mental hospital suddenly reappeared. At this moment he was lying weakly on a hospital bed. On one side was the person he loved, and on the other was his mother. She worriedly reassured her son, My son, you can't die. If you die, how will your mother and father live? But Li Huowang just lay there. A butterfly shot out from his eye. Li Huowang vaguely reached out to catch the butterfly, but in his eyes now was only the image of Yang Na. He was somewhat stunned and reached out trying to grab her. Yang Na, is that her? A panicked sound echoed Li Huowang. Just then, the butterfly also gradually faded into nothingness. He found himself standing in a hazy space. Everything around him became blurry and distorted like a dream, about to fade. Before him, the image of Yang Na, her face full of tears, was filled with worry. He called out loudly, Nana. Immediately, Li Huowang lunged forward, his expression one of extreme anguish as he tightly hugged Yang Na. Her warm voice sounded in his ear, Huowang, promise me, no matter what happens, never give up. You must live well, okay? Li Huowang immediately replied, Okay, I promise you. But just then, Bai Ling Miao's voice rang out. Li Sr., Brother Li, let's go. I feel uncomfortable staying here. Hearing that sound, Li Huowang suddenly snapped out of it. It seemed he realized the person he was hugging was actually Bai Ling, Miao not Yang. Nah. Oh my dear hometown river. Where can I hide my face now? Right after Bai Ling Miao took out the papers Li Huowang had given her from her sleeve pocket and said, Oh, right here, I'm returning this to you. None of us are literate, so returning these last words must be done by senior brother Li himself. No one else can do it. Suddenly the fool standing nearby quickly said, I can read. As soon as these words were out, Zhao Wu covered his mouth. He whispered in his ear, Even if you can read, you have to pretend you don't right now for me. Li Huowang silently looked at the pieces of paper in front of him without saying anything, and no one knew what he was thinking. Seeing this, Bai Ling Miao continued, Senior brother Li. You promised them yourself. A true man cannot go back on his word. Now reality and illusion kept switching in his head. Finally, Li Huowang reached out, took the last letters, and said decisively, All right, let's go. Li Huowang decided that no matter where he was, he wanted to do his best to survive well. This was not just for himself, but also for those family members who might or might not exist. As soon as his words were out, everyone immediately relaxed and laughed out loud. They didn't know what Li Huowang was thinking, but as long as he didn't continue to wait in this god-forsaken cave, it was fine. Then he turned and strode forward confidently. But after just a few steps, he called for them to stop and said, First gather some food from here so we don't have nothing to eat on the road. Immediately, everyone responded in unison. Understood. Senior. Brother Li. The main character continued, I have one more thing to take care of. Then everyone quickly dispersed to arrange their belongings and food, while Li Huowang went to Lao Togei's alchemy room. Looking around, he wondered to himself, Strange, I've searched all over Qing Feng Guan and still can't find the black Tai Sui. Did it grow legs and run away? Without the black Tai Sui, I can't suppress my madness. All that's left is the alchemy furnace that the mushroom head used for ascension. He carefully made his way towards the limestone cave where the black Tai Sui was kept. As soon as he arrived, he saw the black Tai Sui crawling out from inside the black cauldron all the way to the cave entrance. This was probably the first time he had seen its true form. It was a large, slimy black mass, its body covered in something that looked like fur on the underside. A type of dense, dark, slender tentacle grew on it, or perhaps immature thin threads. Its whole body looked like a giant head covered in maggots. Li Huowang thought to himself, Damn it. Why did it crawl out of the cave? Is it here because of Dan Yang? Z's remains. Suddenly the tentacles started to squirm. The main character was startled. Wait, why is the black Tai Sui shrinking? Could this thing be linked to Dan Yang Z's life force? At this moment, Li Huowang's face was full of worry. He quickly grabbed one of the black Tai Sui's tentacles and said in a panic, Hey, snap out of it! If you shrink until you disappear, what will I do about my madness? Don't you want a piece of Dan Yang Zi? Finishing his words, he quickly picked up the remaining piece of flesh from Lao Toge on the floor. Without hesitation, Li Huo Wang stuffed it straight into its mouth, saying urgently, I'll feed you. His fingers gently touched its cold lips, his palm drenched in sweat mixed with blood. He held his breath, waiting for a sign of response from it. After a while, the black Tai Sui finally reacted. It began to chew greedily. However, after swallowing, its tentacles began to retract slowly at first, then faster, as if absorbing the energy it had just received. It trembled and convulsed for a moment. Watching this scene, Li Huo Wang was devastated, thinking to himself, why is it like this? After swallowing Dan Yang Zi's remains, the black Tai Sui is shrinking even more severely. No, even if the black Tai Sui dies, it can't be wasted. Thinking this, he hesitated for a moment, then leaned his face close to the black Tai Sui as if preparing to devour his prey. At the same time, Bai Ling Miao, having finished packing, was on her way to Li Huo Wang's location. She walked hastily, thinking dried food, travel money, and a few spare sets of clothes. I probably haven't missed anything useful in Qingfengguan. At least it's enough to use on the road for a while. I wonder how senior brother Li is doing. But when she arrived, many others had already gotten there before her. They were shocked, speechless, standing, frozen, stammering. The thing senior brother said he wanted to do, is this it? The scene ahead was chaotic, with people constantly vomiting. If I had known, I wouldn't have followed. Bai Ling Miao also quickly ran over to observe the situation. The scene that greeted her made her eyes widen in shock, but unlike the others, she was not afraid. Before her was Li Huo Wang. He was frantically eating the black Tai Sui, ignoring its foul smell and disgusting appearance. He lay face down, chewing greedily as if he hadn't eaten in a long time, saliva dribbling down his chin. His bloodshot eyes were filled with uncontrollable hunger. At this moment, Li Huo Wang looked exactly like a demon that had just emerged from hell, ready to devour everything. Someone's fearful, trembling voice said, Good heavens. I wonder if he'll eat us on the way, too. Scared the living daylights out of me. But Bai Ling Miao was not afraid. She gently approached Li Huo Wang and said cheerfully, Senior brother Li, you're here. But he himself didn't know how long everyone had been there. Eating like that must have scared them to death. He explained awkwardly, The black Tai Sui can suppress my madness, but I don't know why it keeps shrinking. It's about to disappear. I really had no other choice. So I did this. Hearing this, Bai Ling Miao seemed very sympathetic. She said nothing and stood there silently for a moment. Then she held out a new set of clothes in front of Li Huo Wang and said, Senior brother's clothes are dirty. I brought a clean set for you. Is there anything else you need to bring? Li Huo Wang calmly reached out, took the clothes, and said, Yeah, let's go. There's one more place we need to check. Immediately after, the group followed Li Huo Wang to Lao Togo's study. As soon as they arrived, Li Huo Wang spoke. This place is so quiet. It seems the three senior brothers have already settled their score. Arriving at the door, Li Huo Wang called out loudly, Senior brothers, are you done fighting? But when he looked inside, his expression suddenly changed. He muttered, Are they all dead? How tragic. Inside, all three had fallen in pools of blood, their bodies twisted and horribly deformed. There was no winner, only death and desolation. The main character approached, picked up a sword and said, Senior brother probably doesn't need this sword anymore, so let this junior brother borrow it for now. He picked up the sword and walked over to the heavenly book, observing it, while thinking to himself, If this heavenly book is left here and discovered by others, who knows how many people it will bring disaster to. Immediately, he drew his sword. The steel blade flashed in the light, and he struck straight down at the heavenly book. But strangely, the heavenly book remained intact without a single scratch, while the sword in his hand shattered into pieces. Seeing this, Li Huo Wang cursed under his breath. Damn it. Even the sword broke. Is the heavenly book that tough? It seems this heavenly book can barely be considered a treasure. I might as well take it with me for now. If it really doesn't work out, pawning it for some travel money isn't a bad idea either. He got closer and used his strength to lift the heavenly book, estimating its weight. This stone slab was a bit heavier than he had imagined, but it was still within the range he could carry. He then wrapped the heavenly book tightly in cloth to carry it. Before leaving, he approached the body of senior brother Chang Ren and said softly, "Senior brother Chang Ren, you still have a sword here? I'll take it with me as well. You can rest in peace on your journey." Just then, the voices of the people waiting for him at the door called out urgently, "Senior brother Li, can we set off now?" He calmly replied, "Let's go. Time to leave this demonic place." They followed the old path back, but before leaving, they didn't forget to burn the entire place down. Qingfengguan was engulfed in a sea of fire and thick smoke billowed up, covering the entire demonic place. Everyone quickened their pace to get away from there quickly. On one hand, no one wanted to be burned by the flames. About the time it takes to burn 3 incense sticks, later everyone was at the cave entrance. It had been a long time since anyone had seen the warm rays of the sun. At this moment, Li Huowang led the group. He smiled to himself, thinking, "Let everything here burn to ashes. What people and things will I encounter in the future?" Suddenly, he felt a bit of anticipation. The sunlight shone on Li Huowang's face. He took deep breaths of the fresh, cool air, and his mood began to improve. Suddenly, Bai Ling Miao, walking behind, covered her eyes in discomfort and said, "Senior brother Li, slow down a bit. My eyes hurt so much." Hearing the sound, Li Huowang turned his head back to look. He silently guessed, "Is she an albino?" Although not a doctor, Li Huowang seemed to have some knowledge about this condition. He immediately used his sword blade to cut off a piece of cloth. He then tied it over Bai Ling Miao's eyes and gently said, "From now on, when the sun is out, use this cloth to cover your eyes. You have to tie it tightly like this." Seeing this, Bai Ling Miao was confused and asked, "But I won't be able to see anything like this." Taking her hand, Li Huowang gently reassured, "It's okay. I'll hold on to you." The scene changes to somewhere else. From the forest, an urging voice echoes, "Kid, are you done yet?" Turns out there was a guy taking a dump there. He strained and replied, "Pooh, pooh, almost done." And he was the young master of the Lu family opera troupe, Lu Xiusai. He sighed and complained, "Father really rushes me, even when I'm using the bathroom." Suddenly, he heard a sound. He immediately whipped his head around to look and shouted, "Who?" But after looking around, he didn't notice anything unusual and breathed a sigh of relief. "Phew, it's nothing I must have misheard." But he could never have imagined that behind him stood a massive, ghostly figure. It was unclear if it was human or demon. But suddenly, the figure giggled, and right after that came a blood-curdling scream. "Ah! There's a ghost!" The scream attracted his parents' attention. He didn't even have time to pull up his pants and ran straight towards his waiting parents, his whole body trembling. The father shouted in confusion, "What the hell kind of ghost? There are no damn ghosts in broad daylight. Put on your pants." But then the figure moved closer to their horse carriage. The young master, Lu, the scholar, his face pale and covered in sweat, trembled and said, "Father, what should we do?" The father Lu Zhuangyuan, though terrified, had no choice but to step forward. He knelt down and muttered, "How the hell should I know what to do? This is the only way now." Then with a sincere voice, he clasped his hands, bowed deeply towards the figure and pleaded, "O great demon Immortal, please spare our family. We are all unfortunate souls. We just want to go out and earn a meal." The creature's foot then stepped right in front of him. A strange, eerie laugh rang out. He, you tell me, do I look like a human or a god?" What met his eyes was a grotesque face, a bizarre combination of human and demon so distorted that its features were unrecognizable. Its dark, deep eyes occasionally flickered with a demonic red light, like a cursed soul struggling in hell. She wore a mysterious red cloak, enveloped in a chilling dark light. On her chest, a large red rose seemed to be born from the darkness, hiding a bizarre power. Lu Zhuangyuan, trembling like a leaf, thought to himself, "Is this thing here to ask a question? I can't just answer randomly. If I answer wrong, my family will be destroyed." Thinking this, he stammered, "You look like a god." No, like a human. Of course you look like a human. Oh well, it's over, old man." Just then, Li Huowang's group also happened to pass by. While Lu Zhuangyuan was still standing with his hands clasped, bowing to the demoness, his whole body shaking like a leaf, sweat dripping like summer rain, only one thought was in his mind. Did I just say something wrong? It can't be, could it be? Suddenly Gao Wa's voice broke the tense atmosphere. Senior brother, I told you so. Just follow that pile of poop and you'll definitely find him. After all, it's still warm. The fool standing nearby shivered, his spine tingling with fear. You just hearing it makes me want to faint from disgust. Gao Wa pouted and rolled his eyes. So stupid you're already disgusted, yet you still bow down and get close. Are you planning to eat it? Making a mixed cold rice dish. I bet. Just then, Li Huowang raised his hand, his eyes wide like headlights. His voice full of surprise. Wait a minute. The whole group whipped around to look forward, dazed as if they had stumbled into a parallel universe. Good heavens, Senior Brother Li, look, what in the world is that thing? The front is a face, the back is also a face. There's no back of the head. It's like it was born from a two-sided mirror. What kind of monster is this? Or is it a fake from the night market? Before them was a strange creature, unclear if it was human or demon, looking like a failed cosplay at a Halloween festival. Over here, Lu Xiu Kai was trembling like a boiled corn cob in a steamer, stammering, Father, look behind you. Why is there another demon? Who knew that the demon he was talking about was actually Li Huowang's group approaching? Hearing this, Gao Wa yelled as if he had been insulted. Hey, you white-butted guy! Who are you calling a demon? You want a beating? Li Huowang calmly raised his hand to stop them. Enough! Let me handle this. You all stand here and watch closely. At this moment, the demoness slowly turned her face, her mouth grinning widely, her voice drawn out as if hissing through her teeth. Hee! More new people have arrived! How fun! Li Huowang shouted, What are you? She laughed like a madwoman, opening her long snout, her eyes as red as blood. Hee, I'm a person! Don't I look like one? Hee! Li Huowang immediately drew the sword from his back and cursed without restraint. You look like a piece of shit. In his heart, he thought, whatever it is, I'll strike first and ask questions later, to be safe. Without hesitation, he took a running start and shot towards the demoness like a low-altitude missile. Swish. The sword was pointed straight at her face, while she was still grinning from ear to ear as if she'd won the lottery. Only when the blade pierced through her body did that smile slowly freeze. But no physical attacks had no effect on it. Li Huowang immediately changed tactics. Then let's try this. He pulled out Lao Toja's bronze bell and shook it furiously, as if praying to a god. Ding clang, ding a ling a ling. The bell's sound was eerie, as if tearing space apart, shattering eardrums. The strange creature shrieked, its face contorting like a stepped-on dumpling, and then it slowly dissolved into nothingness. The whole group held their breath, their eyes wide and mouths agape, hearts pounding like village drums. Blood splattered like confetti, and all that remained was a terrifying set of chattering teeth. Li Huowang squinted, smiling faintly like a master who had just unlocked a new skill. This bronze bell is the real deal. In just a flash, the demoness's body began to disintegrate like ash in the wind. It slowly shed its skin, revealing streams of dark demonic energy, like an eerie fog swirling around, making the air around them as cold as if they had just stepped into a hellish basement. The evil aura gradually dissipated, and she completely vanished. At this moment, Lu Zhuangyuan looked as if he had returned from the dead. His face was pale, but his eyes shone brightly, as if he had met his savior. He immediately clasped his hands and bowed repeatedly. Great master, truly a great master living among mortals, thank you for your help. My family has nothing of value. Oh wait, I have this. With that, he pulled an old pipe from his sleeve. It looked like an heirloom passed down for generations, with some carvings of flying dragons and dancing phoenixes on its body. This is a family heirloom pipe. One puff will wake you right up, make you even forget your wife's nagging. Please accept this gift. Great Master, Li Huo. Wang looked at the pipe, frowned, then shook his head, waving his hand like a fan. Thank you, old sir, but I don't smoke. Let me ask you seriously. Do you know what that monster just now was? It doesn't look like anything I've ever read about in books. The old man scratched his head and chuckled, replying casually as if it were an everyday matter. Oh, doesn't the young Taoist master know? That pitch-black thing, didn't you just chase it away? Well, yes, I did chase it away, but what the hell it is, that's the problem. Li Huowang scratched his head in frustration, feeling like he had just fought a final boss without reading the game guide. He changed the subject. Well, let me just ask you. Then, is there a map of this area? We're not locals. We've been wandering in the forest for days, getting lost like we're playing hide and seek. The old man hesitated, slightly scratched his chin and said, A map, I don't have one, but I've walked all over this area until my sandals wore out. I know every road like the back of my hand. If the young Taoist master doesn't mind, how about we go together? I'll lead the way. In his heart, the old man thought, this Taoist seems powerful. He knows how to fight monsters and how to use a bell to exorcise evil. That strange thing seems to be following my family. Well, going with this master might just save my old life. Li Huo Wang sighed, his voice as sad as if he'd just lost his ration book. I have to go to many places. I brought these junior brothers and sisters out. Now their lives are in my hands. I have to take them home. He paused, his eyes darkening. Besides, there are many who can never go home again. I have to go to each house to deliver news that's not easy to hear and even harder to say. After hearing this, Lu Zhuangyuan finally understood. So that's how it is. Without hesitation, the old man immediately took out his pipe, took a puff for courage, and then started drawing on the ground as if presenting a battle plan to a martial young Taoist master. Look here. This old man has roughly sketched out the terrain. Right now we're standing in Hoshu, without making Li Huo Wang strain his brain. The old man continued fluently. Below Hoshu is Siqi. A little to the left is our Nanpingguo. Now we're on our way to Wuligang, a little further and we'll reach Jianye town. After that, Shijing welcomes us. Hearing this, Li Huo Wang's head spun like a top as he thought to himself, what kind of world is this so chaotic, like the 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms period? There's no unified country. The central government is probably on vacation somewhere. He looked up and asked, May I ask old sir, which way do I go to get to Liangguo? As soon as the question was asked, the old man's eyes looked as if they'd been zapped. The young Taoist master wants to go to Liangguo. Oh my goodness, that place is very far, you know. And 2 years ago, they had a huge fight with our Nanpingguo. Bailing Miao, sitting next to him, heard this, and her face filled with worry, as if she'd just heard the sky was falling and hadn't had time to bring in the laundry. Li Huo Wang quickly pulled out a skewer of grilled meat. Its aroma so comforting, handed it to her and smiled gently. Don't worry. I'm here. I will definitely take you all home. Lu Suowen nodded. If you want to go to Liangguo, you still have to pass through Jianye town. So let's travel this road together for fun. With companions, there's a future. Hearing this, Gowa suddenly jumped up as if he'd won the lottery. Senior brother, Li, my home is right in Jianye town. There's a delivery service there. Just spend a little silver and any letter can be sent back to Nanpingguo. Li Katwang muttered, Jianye town, huh? After thinking for a few seconds, he nodded decisively. All right, old sir. Let's go to Jianye together. The road is long and I'll need your guidance. Lu Zhuangyuan was as happy as a child receiving a red envelope. Oh my, the young Taoist master is too polite. It's nothing. When you travel, you need friends. When you eat, you need dipping sauce, right? And so the group set off into the night. It seemed that the ghost had been left behind, but no. Her laughter still echoed like annoying background music in a horror movie, persistent, creepy, and unpleasant. As the sky gradually brightened, Li Huo Wang started a conversation to stay awake. How's your opera troupe's business lately, old man? Hearing this, Lu Zhuangyuan sighed dejectedly, like someone who just had an order canceled. Times, our tough young Taoist master. The drought hasn't passed, and now the floods have come. The people don't even have enough to eat. Who has time to watch plays? Li Huo Wang was surprised, so no wealthy households are willing to spend, like those rich merchants from the outside. The old man rolled his eyes and shook his head. Wealthy households? Those guys, they're as stingy as leeches. They're even too cheap to hire an opera troupe for funerals. They just put down a bowl of rice for offerings, and that's it. No need for any music or singing, disrespectful beyond words. While the two were talking, the group gradually attracted attention from all around. The curious children ran over to see, their eyes wide with surprise. But then the fool in the group, for some unknown reason, gave an incredibly affectionate smile, making the children scream, "Ah, a ghost! Oh, Mommy, I'm so scared!" And so they panicked. The two kids ran for their lives as if chased by bees, leaving the fool standing there bewildered. On the other side, Lu Zhuangyuan, still oblivious, was lavishing praise. How can street performers like us compare to the young Taoist master, so young and talented with a future as bright as New Year's fireworks? Li Huowang's ears turned red, listening to this, and he waved his hands dismissively. Not at all. Not at all. You praise me too much, old sir. He continued asking, by the way, are there any famous sects in this Nanping Guo? I mean the ones with special abilities like me. The old man nodded, thought for a moment, and replied, yes, there are. In sieging, there's a rumored sect. Praying for a child, there is very effective. Just offer one incense stick and your wish will come true. If the young Taoist master visits Xijing, just ask around and you'll find it. In the distance, a young man was strolling with his father. Seeing the lively group, he pointed and said, Father, look, there's something fun up ahead. After a long, arduous journey, scattered rooftops finally began to appear. Lu Zhuangyuan's eyes shone like headlights. We're here! Woolly Gang is right ahead. Young Taoist master, quickly find a place to set up the stage. The Lu family troupe is open for business. Turns out they wanted to perform an opera to earn some money for rice. Li Huowang had no intention of leaving right away either. After a long and tedious journey, like a documentary, everyone was exhausted. It was a good time to stop and rest, to regain their strength and spirit. As for the troupe's opera to Huowang, it was duller than cold rice, but the others were like fish in water, their eyes shining as if they had met a living god. She grinned like a kitten that had stolen a fish. Senior brother Li. Look at this. This bronze mirror, the opera singers use it to check their makeup. It gives a very clear reflection. He looked at her, then at the mirror curiously, brought his face closer and froze completely. Is that so? It really is clear. But the more he looked, the paler his face became, as if an electric current was running down his spine. Li Huowang jumped up, panicked, and snatched the mirror. Wait a minute. He touched his face, his heart in turmoil, his gaze lost in his own reflection in the mirror. The face in this world so strange it was heartbreaking. After a moment, he asked softly, Junior sister Bai, before I left Qingfengguan, did I already look like this? She nodded without hesitation. Yes, you've always looked like this, senior brother. Is something wrong? Why are you looking at yourself like you've seen a ghost? He quickly forced a smile and replied evasively, no, it's nothing. Then he quietly lowered his head and looked at his face in the mirror again. A mature, experienced face with a touch of world weariness. But in his heart, the image of his other self surfaced, thin young, only about 17 years old. Why am I so old here, so withered? My memories are jumbled, fragmented. Living like this is no different from a joke. In the distance, the sound of drums beat rapidly. The opera stage was set. Villagers poured in from all directions, as crowded as a festival. Old and young men and women, some wearing conical hats, some leading children, all crowded together, filling the empty plot of land. The performance began. On stage, Lu Zhuangyuan had transformed into a character with a strange face, wielding a sword and dancing like a swirling dragon. On the other side, Luo Qianhua played the role of a suffering woman, crying and singing, Oh, why did my cruel uncle-in-law chase me away? Like a weed by the roadside, trampled by everyone who passes by. Oh my child and I are cold and hungry with no other choice but to beg on the streets. While singing, she pinched the baby in her arms, who wailed pitifully. The cry was so practiced, it sounded like it had been trained since the womb, making the audience shed tears of laughter. At first, Li Huowang couldn't be bothered to pay attention, but then curiosity drew him closer. He stood amidst the cheering crowd, watching the opera troupe dance and sing, and felt a strange emotion in his heart. So this is how the Lu family troupe performs, huh? It's not easy at all. Every silver coin earned comes from sweat and tears. He didn't say it out loud, but his gaze had softened. In the midst of the lively stage with its resounding drums, a figure peeked out from backstage, his eyes darting around like someone hiding from debt collectors. It was none other than Lu Zhuangyuan. As soon as he saw Li Huowang, it was as if he had struck gold. He jumped and then rushed over like a whirlwind. Aya, young Taoist master. He ran so fast his robe flapped as if aided by a whirlwind. He ran while panting heavily. You've come at the perfect time, truly a benefactor, gracing us with your presence. Li Huowang stood still, his arms crossed, and calmly asked, What's the matter that has the troop master in such a panic? This old man has encountered a small business matter. Could I trouble you to help out a little? Hearing that Huo Wang frowned his face, showing complete confusion. Troop Master Lu, I don't know how to sing or sword dance. I'm afraid I can't help with your business matters. Lu Zhuangyuan waved his hands frantically as if shooing flies. No, you don't need to sing. Just standing there is fine. Just stand there. It's like this in Wuli Gang. There's a wealthy old master from the Hu family. Just now, he sent someone to ask if I would bring the troupe to perform a ghost opera. Li Huowang raised an eyebrow. A ghost opera? You mean singing for ghosts? Lu Zhuangyuan's face paled as he quickly waved his hands. Hey, don't misunderstand. It's not singing for ghosts. It's just singing in the ancestral hall in front of the ancestral tablets. We just call it that to make it sound more spiritual.